Welcome into Out of Bounds here on 103.7 The Buzz. Appreciate everybody listening in on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. John Nabors, Joe Franklin, broadcasting live from the Hoggs Meat Market Studios with you today. Thank you as always for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon. It is a Trash Talk Thursday here on Out of Bounds, so we want to hear your trash talk. What you got for us, you can call or text in at 501-661-1037. Get after us in the Asher Record Live fan feedback. After me on Twitter at BuzzJohnNabors. And today, it's always going to be a great show, but a special show because today we're going to talk a little Razorback everything with Dudley Dawson of Hogville.net. Always love it when Dudley comes on because not only can we talk Razorback stuff with him, but the jack of all trades when it comes to all sports. So we'll dive into all of that with him. And did want to talk a little also with Bobby Regan of Barstool Sports, not only because of the whole basketball thing with Kansas. That's really funny. He had a great take on it on social media, but also he's a Kentucky guy, and he had some comments about what Mark Stoops had to say and dealing with buying of players and how he feels about it as a Kentucky basketball fan that also is a Kentucky football fan too.
ESPN was all over Kentucky yesterday as they were reporting the news about Kansas. They were at Kentucky's basketball camp, and you can see the players in the background kind of getting ready for basketball season to tip off.
Oh, yeah. So it's an exciting time, and I know for places like Kentucky and for a guy like Bobby Regan, loves his basketball, no matter if it's college, professional, high school. He's a big basketball guy. In fact, that's what his official title is with Barstool Sports, is just simply basketball guy. So
that's what he is.
That's what he is. All about the basketball. So we'll talk with him in the 3 o'clock hour and dive into that too. But have to hear from Sam Pittman and some Nick Saban audio from the SEC teleconference. We'll do that. But I tell you, last night, the Major League Baseball playoffs still very, very dramatic, and having some teams that are going home, and one of them being, of course, the Dodgers, as they lose 4-2 to the Diamondbacks, gets swept in that one. They lose that series 3-0. And also the Houston Astros, they didn't sweep the Twins, but they ended up winning the series 3-1 as they won in a nail-biter 3-2 over the Twin Cities. So got a couple teams moving on, and still waiting on that Philadelphia and Atlanta series, as Philadelphia, my goodness, they just destroyed the Braves yesterday, 10-2. What was it, 6 home runs? I mean, come on.
They tied a Major League record for number of home runs in a postseason game.
That's incredible. That was incredible.
And then you had 2 players that hit 2 each, one of them being Bryce Harper, who stared down the opponents as he's rounding second base both times.
I love that. I love Bryce Harper in general, but he took care of business, and this was how his 2 home runs sounded yesterday.
Stays put, and there's a high fly ball, deep right field. Harper watches it fly. Bryce Harper, an electrifying moment here, a 3-run blast to put the Phillies in front. Harper, high fly ball, center field. He's watching. Harris turns. Harris leaps, and it's gone. Harper with a rainmaker and another stare down. 7-1 Phillies, and it's turning into the Bryce Harper game again.
A hanger, 110 off the bat. This one was high. I didn't know it was so high. And, of course, a second stare down from Bryce Harper.
Yeah, second stare down from Bryce Harper over at Orlando Arcia, I believe is how you say his name. Because, for a little bit of the context, the comments that were being made from the dugout after last game, where I guess it was the play where Bryce Harper hit into a double play, there were reports of the comments being yelled from Arcia and the dugout of the Braves that said, attaboy, Harper, that attaboy, kind of trashing him a little bit. So that's where the comments fueled Bryce Harper a little bit, and he decided to do a little stare down, and he was asked about it after the game.
Was there any motivation?
I mean, anytime anybody says something, right? I mean, that's what it's all about.
Did you enjoy staring him down?
Yeah, I mean, I stared right at him.
I mean, just the confidence and the swagger that he has, man. He had. It's always great when you have it, but when you have it and back it up like he did last night, that was awesome.
It was absolutely a game that they can celebrate for taking a series lead, but they know that there's still work to do. They have to get back on the field tonight to try to close it out, and if not, then it's going to go to a deciding fifth game. So they want to be able to close it at home, though.
Oh yeah, it's always a lot more fun to do it in front of your home crowd, and it was crazy because apparently when that was being reported from the clubhouse from the Braves, it got back to the Phillies, and apparently Bryce Harper says, "quote Yeah, I heard it from my teammates. That's just about it. They told me, and they looked at me, and they were like, what are you going to do?" Well, I think he answered that question of what you were going to do, but also with of course, Arcia and the guys in the Braves locker room and in the dugout. They were a little not offended, but a little frustrated because they felt like, hey, that was just some discussions that we had in the dugout that wasn't meant to get back to them or to go off, whatever it was. But they were, I guess, kind of frustrated that it got out with
That's
those
what
comments.
you get with all access and the cameras everywhere these days.
Oh yeah. In fact, yesterday here was a comment by some of the Braves that was asked about yesterday with the comments and seeing the response by Bryce Harper. Here's what some of the Braves had to say about that.
The clubhouse is a sanctuary, and I think when things like that get out, it doesn't make people want to talk to the media at all. It affects the people who have been great to us all year, and it is what it is.
I mean, come on, man. It's like I get what the cameras and all of that stuff, but say it doesn't, talk about the media and everything. I was like, well, I mean, listen, I don't care if it was the media or not. I think like if fans heard them say that, they'd probably tweet about it and say, hey, this was being said over there. I mean, I don't know. I felt like him talking about the bringing up the comments of, oh, well, this is stuff that can happen. Maybe it's not trust the media or talk to the media. I was like, it's like the press conference happened. It's like something you heard it and they reported it. That's all it was.
Yeah, but he's speaking more to just the access that's there, and that's what you kind of have to deal with these days. And you worry about, well, as players, they're not really worried about it because, as he's saying, they're just going through something normal and they're not thinking about the cameras being around. And so they're just going to act like they normally would. They're not going to act in a different way or say something that they wouldn't normally say because the cameras are there, because they're not thinking about the fact that somebody's here and they're filming, and then they're going to put it out there.
Yeah, well, hey, it's Trash Talk Thursday here on Out of Bounds, and there's plenty of trash talk between those two. So it's made it fun, though. It makes it fun to see what will happen in the next game and see if the Phillies can close it out or see if the Braves can bounce back. But I guess at this point in time now, if the Braves end up losing, that's going to be what, all 300-win teams out of the playoffs?
Oh, yeah.
That is wild. And also with dealing with Bryce Harper, I'm sure that there's more than that, but with the expectation that he had coming out of high school, and everyone's talking about him, he's one of those generational type players. I feel like he's one of the very few, and maybe the rare occasions, that has lived up to that expectation that's been put on him at a young age. Like very few, like LeBron James, had a huge expectation. Definitely has lived up to it. I think Bryce Harper, I'm not trying to say him and LeBron are in the same stratosphere, but I think Bryce Harper, when it comes to baseball, has been one of the few guys where they was identified as a young age, went through the process to get into the league and has lived up to every expectation that was put on him.
Yeah, he's a great player. He definitely, you can see the talent that's there, and even fighting through some injuries and the toughness that he has, he puts it all out there at all times.
Yeah, my favorite moment from Bryce Harper, and I wish I remember which game it was, but he got ejected from a game because I guess he didn't like the balls and strikes that were being called, and went over and pointed his bat at the umpire, and they eject him. This was like in the 9th inning too, like when it was the bottom of the 9th, he gets ejected, and then the next batter gets up. I think it was when he's with the Nationals. Next batter gets up, cranks out a walk-off home run, and they end up winning it. And so he didn't even make it all the way to the locker room, but he comes back out of the dugout, and they go and celebrate with his teammates. But the first thing he does before he gets to it's not the dog pile, but when they're getting to the home plate to celebrate the walk-off, he just looks over at the goes, F you, and then just starts celebrating again. I was like, it's just like, he's like, okay, yeah, you ejected me, but I'm still out here celebrating, but I wanted you to hear even more of it because you can't eject me twice. You can't kick me off the field for celebrating, but
he has had some moments that stand out. He had a fight against the San Francisco Giants Memorial Day weekend one year, where he had a pitch that came in close to him. It may have hit him. Can't remember if it hit him or if it came in close to him, but he threw the helmet at the pitcher, And it kind of looked like a first pitch almost because the helmet got nowhere close to the pitcher, but then he rushed them out and they started fighting. And I actually was at that game.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so what's that like? I know it's cool to see it on TV, but when a fight like that goes out, is it just kind of everyone's like, oh, like waiting on it and just seeing what transpires?
Yeah, that's kind of how it was. We were actually moving around at the time, so we weren't actually looking at the field. We were looking at a monitor, and then as we're looking at the monitor, we could see people moving around, and then we looked down to the field, and we're like, oh man, they're about to fight. Look at this.
Grabs everyone's attention.
It was national. It made sports everywhere where everybody's talking about it.
Yeah. See, it's not as weird as it is to say, because I don't think that fighting should always happen in sports, but that's one thing I feel like I've never seen in person. I've been to a lot of sporting events, live sporting events, but I've never seen any sort of like fight that breaks out. Well, I've seen a little, shoving and everything, but as far as like at a baseball game, never seen any fight breaks out, or at football, I've never seen, any fights break out. Just common shoving and everything. But man, I want to see just one of those in person just to see what it's like. And, kind of the saying, oh, I was there for that moment, like whenever the fight breaks out.
Also, Bryce Harper, he's played in the World Series and they're hoping to get back there and get a chance to win. But just unfortunate timing. He left the Nationals and they win the World Series the next year.
Man. Yeah. See, that's brutal. That to me is because we know how much championships mean to these great players, and him not having one just yet. Maybe this will be the year, but leaving the next year and him getting the title, I'm sure he doesn't care, but he's got to think about it a little bit. Be like, man, I would have liked to add a ring on my finger, but maybe this is the year for the Phillies. Maybe this is the year. But we got a lot to talk about here on Trash Talk Thursday, folks. You can call or text in at 501-661-1037. We'll talk a little bit about Arkansas and Alabama. Nick Saban really has a great breakdown of Arkansas and what he thinks about the Razorbacks.
He always does.
I'm telling you, this is stuff that's going to just blow your mind of how he just lays it all out there for you. So we'll have a chance to hear from him and get to a lot more here on a Trash Talk Thursday on Out of Bounds. So stay with us.
Listen for birthday trivia in the zone, brought to you by Elia's Mexican Grill. Headed to the hill, take exit 108 from either direction for award-winning Mexican food made fresh every day. Elia's in Morrilton.
This is Sports Center.
100-win teams in the Major League Baseball playoffs have not fared too well as the Diamondbacks finished off the Dodgers, beating them 4-2 last night. Arizona became the first team to ever hit 4 home runs in one inning in postseason history, as 4 Diamondbacks went deep off of Lance Lynn in the third. The last time Arizona went to the NLCS was 2007. The Dodgers and the Orioles are both 100-win teams, and both were swept. The Atlanta Braves are the only other 100-win team in the majors, and they find themselves in danger of elimination as they fell to the Phillies 10-2 last night. They trailed 2-1 in the series. Philadelphia can punch their ticket to the NLCS with a win tonight. First pitch is set for 7:07 on TBS. And the ALCS is set. It'll be a battle for Texas between the Astros and the Rangers. Game 1 will be on Sunday. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
This is Pat Bradley, and listen for me weekly on Morning Mayhem, presented by Bradford Marine and ATV with 6 statewide locations. It's riding season. Visit Bradford Marine and ATV and check out the Can-Am Riker motorcycle. Stop by today for the best in-store inventory and discount prices. View all the inventory online at bradfordmarine.com.
This is Pat Bradley for River City Flooring, where you can pick your payment. Get 0% interest for 12, 24, or 36 months. And River City Flooring in Maumelle is where you'll save 50% on all in-stock waterproof LVP flooring. And did you know River City Flooring carries cabinets? So stop in and let my friends at River City Flooring help you with your remodel. Kitchen, bath, living, dining, they do it all. Check out River City Flooring in Maumelle at their huge new showroom on Maumelle Boulevard just off 430.
Of course, you have many options when it comes to great dining options downtown, but there's only one, Dizzy's Gypsy Bistro, still offering a wide selection of all your favorite special craft cocktails, including beer and wine, and a menu featuring gourmet salads and delicious pastas. And Dizzy's is also the multiple-time winner of the World Cheese Dip Competition. With a dog-friendly patio, a funky eclectic atmosphere, and room for large parties with reservations, Dizzy's will have you coming back again and again. Since 1995, Dizzy's Gypsy Bistro, Dizzy'sLR.com.
Unless you've been living under a rock. You've heard of the current turmoil in the auto industry. Rising used car prices and declining new car inventory is clearly a real possibility. But this month, Watney Chevrolet strikes back with 0% on 2023 Silverados. Call 501-982-2102. Watney Chevrolet in Jacksonville anticipated today's car climate months ago by ordering extra new inventory and assembling a fleet of quality used cars. Call 501-982-2102. Trade now, because prices could soon be headed in the wrong direction. Plus, get the relief of no payments until after New Year's. Watney Chevrolet will get you right before the storm on the horizon. Watney Chevrolet, 1301 TP White Drive in Jacksonville. Call 501-982-2102. WatneyChevrolet.com. Chevrolet, find new roads. All offers with approved credit.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Shelter Agent Kyle Stone in Pine Bluff, Grant Westmoreland in Sheridan, or Sam Eklund in Star City.
David Dunn here with Central Arkansas Truck and Trailer. We're the area's largest and highest rated independent diesel repair facility for all makes and models, from transmissions and brakes to suspensions and engine repair. If you're tired of high dealership prices and long wait times, come see what family-owned and locally operated really means. Expert technicians and the latest computer diagnostics will get your equipment back on the road fast. Take the England exit on I-440 to Central Arkansas Truck and Trailer. 568-2185. That's Central Arkansas Truck and Trailer.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One. Thursday night football is coming up with AFC West action. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs sit atop the division at 4-1. Now they host Sean Payton's Denver Broncos, who are off to a tough 1-4 season start. Ian Eagle and Devin McCourty will have the call on air on the free live stream sponsored by AutoZone on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on 103.7 The Buzz.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thursday Night Football is on, and it's only on Prime. Tonight, it's an AFC West showdown as Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos head to Kansas City to take on Patrick Mahomes and the defending champion Chiefs. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon. It's the Broncos and the Chiefs tonight on Thursday Night Football, and it's on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Make it the event that everyone wants to attend by getting your meat for tailgates, parties, or just family get-togethers at Hoggs Meat Market. Hoggs Meat Market, the steak people. You're listening to Out of Bounds with John Nabors and Joe Franklin.
Jefferson off the zone read. Play action. Pumps once. Looking deep. Tesla at the goal line. Complete. Touchdown, Arkansas. Man, is this guy a find or what?
On 103.7 The Buzz.
Sun is hot and that old clock is moving slow, and so am I. Workday passes like molasses in wintertime, but it's July, getting paid by the hour.
It's Out of Bounds here on Trash Talk Thursday, but one thing we're never going to talk trash about is Max Prairie Wings in Stuttgart, where duck season just being around the corner. You need to make sure you head over to Max Prairie Wings because they got you covered for everything when it comes to duck season. Because right now, receive a $2,000 Max gift card with the purchase of a Thor boat, motor, and trailer package. And if you also go online to maxpw.com and check out their website, it tells you about all the different specials that they have. And one of the cool things about it, too, is they have free premium ground shipping for orders that are over $99. So check that out, too. You can go in store, of course, there in Stuttgart. But anytime you go on the website, you can see all the different deals that they have going on, all the specials, and even shop online. We're talking about tree stands. We're talking about firearms. We're talking about waterfowl gear. They got it all. So you can go to their website at MaxPW. That's MACKSPW.com. Check it out that way. Or just go there in store because they have a great quality group over there that's going to make sure that they get you set up, get you helped out, and answer any question that you possibly have. And it's right there in Stuttgart. So check them out today with the Max Prairie Wings. No matter if it's their Muddy Skybox 20-foot double rail ladder stand that's on sale for $189.99, or if it's something like a new firearm that you want, like the Beretta A300 12 gauge being just $799, they got you covered. So visit them today at MaxPrairieWings.com. It's Max Prairie Wings. The hunt begins here. Again, it's a little Trash Talk Thursday on Out of Bounds, and we know Arkansas and Alabama are going to be facing off against each other this weekend in Tuscaloosa. And I'm telling you, Nick Saban is fired up, and he is ready for this game. And he knows that Arkansas is a national championship contending football team because he wants everyone to know how good of a team Arkansas actually is.
Well, we're looking forward to be back at home at Bryant-Denny Stadium. It's homecoming. Arkansas is a huge challenge for us, really tough team. We've had some really tough losses, and KJ Jefferson is really, really good player and very challenging matchup as a passer and as a runner. They're very aggressive on defense. They've, played really well so far this year. So, we got to look forward to the things that we need to do to improve on and get better and, try to build on the confidence that our team plays with.
Let it be known, I have no problem with what Nick Saban said, but just when he says those things in that low energy, very monotone phone voice that he's got, it just kind of makes me laugh because I know he means it because that's how he takes it so seriously for each game. But just to hear him say, they got a great quarterback and KJ Jefferson, a big threat, it's like, and he doesn't exactly exude the energy, but he exudes the excellence.
The
at
only
Alabama.
thing he stretched on there was to say that Arkansas has played really well this year.
Yeah.
Everything else, he hit it dead on. He said that KJ is talented. They're aggressive on defense. He hit some of the main key areas of discussion as far as when it comes to Arkansas. But then when he said they played well this year, they haven't played well this year. Maybe at times on when they've had some offensive explosions against LSU, but is that more about Arkansas or is that more about LSU?
Yeah. Well, at this point in time, I feel like it's more about LSU because at least the one thing that's been consistent in both of those is that LSU's defense has been trash. Arkansas's offense, other than Western Carolina and that LSU game, there hasn't really been anything about the offense that's been fun or exciting or good overall. At least not consistent enough. But Nick Saban understands it, and he knows that anytime in the SEC, especially in the SEC West, he's got to make sure that his guys are always ready to play, and they're going to be ready to play.
He's always going to be respectful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and he still to this day, which we talked about it yesterday, about Nick Saban and just where I always just circle it as an L before the season starts, no matter what, and I'm not even mad about it. But one thing I will give a lot of credit to Nick Saban for, and I think that this was really when I always kind of didn't care one way or the other, but the time when I really respected him and liked him is when I'm trying to remember which year it was. I think it was in 2016 when Arkansas and Alabama played each other, and Frank Ragnow and his dad just passed away that week. And Frank Ragnow was so close with his dad. It was really taking a toll on him. And after the game, Nick Saban, after shaking Brett Bielema's hand, went and found Frank Ragnow on the field. Unannounced, everything. Just went and found him and then talked to him about, how much he knows about the pain, and because he talked about his dad passing away, Nick Saban's dad passing away, and just how much that he respects him and give him credit. I was like, man, that was that's not like no another coach would say that, but for someone as big as a deal as Nick Saban and someone who's got, all these radio people trying to talk to him after the game and whatnot, for him to take time. To just go and do that. I thought that was really cool from him.
Oh, absolutely. He's someone that is aware of, things that are going on. And that is one of those special instances. But as far as like being aware of certain things, especially what's being said around the team, about the team, he knows all that. And then sometimes he'll take a stance where he's at a press conference and he'll speak out on certain things, and maybe it's more about sending a message to the team at the time, but he's always aware of things that are going on.
Oh, yeah. And, the way that it's a method to the madness, just like we see so many coaches do, and how they approach the media or in press conferences or in being asked questions or even social media, which he's not on. But like one of my favorite quotes that he had, and he had a lot of them in press conferences where he's gone off. But when Arkansas was about to play him in 2019, Chad Morris was there. Arkansas was just so awful. Like, they weren't even a threat. They were so bad at everything. And it was when it was, I guess, Tua was hurt, I think, at that time. And that's when Mac Jones was playing. And then Talia, Tua's youngest brother, was on the team. Like, it was his freshman year before he transferred. And I just remember he got asked about from the media before the game started. Asked from the media, would you think that there'll be time where you can get Talia to expedite his, development as a quarterback to get him into this game and the importance? Which Nick Saban hears that, and he just goes off. He's like, no, we're focused on winning the game. All right. And that's the only thing we're going to expedite anything that we can to win the game. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy game. All right. But we're not just going to play anybody that wants to play just for the sake of playing them. Like, we're not going to do that. We're going to expedite everything we need to win the game. And just walked off. It's like, that's how his mentality is 100% of the time. Does not care about what they could do if they're up big or, development of players. He's like, no, we're just focused on winning. That's all that matters in the end. So it's probably why he's so good at what he does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's about the details, and he's really detail oriented. He pays attention to everything, and he wants to not only, he's a defensive coach, but not only is he worried about what the defense is doing, he's going to keep a pulse on the offense and make sure the offensive coaches are doing what they need to do. He's just that CEO type that is going to see all aspects of the team and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do in all areas.
And this year, right now, I mean, they're in control of the SEC West moving forward. They still got to play LSU, still got to play Auburn, still got to play Arkansas, obviously, but they're in a good spot. And it's just funny to me how sometimes people write off Alabama. Like, Nick Saban's not what it used to be. They don't have Bryce Young or Tua or Jalen. Their quarterback, Milroe, ain't as good. Defense ain't as good. They're beatable. It's like, well, okay, you could say that, but they're still really, really freaking good. And they're probably going to win the West once again this year.
If they happen to win a national championship this year, it would be the most impressive
100%
job that he's done with the team that's in place. And that's not to say they don't have talent, but that they lost a lot of talent like they usually do. But just focusing on the quarterback position, we know kind of some of the drop-off that's been there and the difficulty that they've had with that position. And looking at other players other than Jalen Milroe, this would be the most impressive if they were able to get through it and win a national championship with the team that's in place now.
I could never count them out. In fact, I saw on ESPN they had their little playoff predictor, if you will, and they put a bunch of formulas together and look at the teams in college football and who has the best percentage to make the playoff and also the best percentage to actually win the championship. And I thought it was fascinating that as of right now, Oklahoma is actually the team that has the best percentage to make the playoff and to win the title. Just given how the schedule is setting up for them the rest of the way, they have a 71% chance of making the playoff and then a 23% of winning the title. They're leading the way. But Alabama sits there with the sixth best percentages of where they have a 30% chance of making the playoff and an 8% chance of winning the title. So
that's probably just where he wants to be if there's something that's going to get through to the players to say, oh, they're being disrespected or they're not being thought of in the same way, that they're sixth, and that's how people view them. He probably would enjoy that for the players to actually see that.
Yeah, because what was it Kirby Smart last year? Talking about, we've been doubted all year. It's like, I don't know if you got doubted, my man. But they get whatever it takes to motivate themselves. And sometimes they got to pull things out of their rear end to make it work. But this could be something that maybe Nick Saban printed off the same exact sheet of paper I did and put it in the locker room. Said, hey, look at you. Look at these guys. They don't believe in you at all. They think you're going to fail. And they think that Oklahoma, Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon, and Texas have a better chance of making the playoff than you do.
Now, realistically, he might think that also.
True. Yeah. With the way things have gone and looking at some of the teams that's in front of them, like, I thought it was crazy too that Ohio State, again, according to this, it's just a formula put into place, but Ohio State has a 52% chance of making the playoff, but Michigan has a 29% chance of making the playoff, which both teams are undefeated. And, of course, they face each other at the end of the season. But they think that those are the two teams out of the Big Ten where Ohio State have a significantly bigger chance than Michigan making.
So Penn State's not listed on there?
Penn State is listed right under Michigan at 27% of a chance. So, yeah, those are
So
the
they
Big Ten
think Ohio
teams.
State is going to get through those two teams more likely than one of those two teams getting through the other two.
That's right. Which, again, I think it's never like guaranteed, but it is interesting to see the numbers that they put forth and put in place. Like Oregon being the best chance out of Pac-12, I fully agree. But how funny is it? Like USC, for instance, USC's not even listed in the top 10 as far as having their percentages
Thinking
wise.
about that defense and how many points they give up.
Yeah.
But they score a lot on offense.
Thank goodness, because if they didn't, that would be problematic. But they have Florida State, who's undefeated. They have them at a 26% chance of making it. Washington at 23%. So
They should be.
Yeah.
And Washington, Oregon, they play this week. So we'll see that kind of shake out.
Now, here's also a great thing, too. They talk about the strength of record the rest of the way, like who has the toughest chance and the toughest way of, or excuse me, the way that it's been for the first 6 games of the season, who's had the toughest 6-game schedule. And Oklahoma was number 1. And that's why they feel like they have the best chance, because they got through the most difficult part of their schedule already. But Alabama's sitting at number 6 with a strength of schedule rank. But I found it was fascinating. All these other teams are in the mix for a championship. The one that's in there, though, is Ole Miss, actually at 8th with their strength of schedule, sitting there at a 47% chance of having a win-loss. That was before the season started, and yet they're sitting at 5-1. So they had a tough schedule from the get-go. But that kind of goes to show you that if you're Oklahoma, that's why the percentages is there. For those of you who are asking, you're like, why are they so high? Well, they got through the toughest part of the schedule. They beat Texas. You know, they got some still tough games, but they beat Texas. What do you think the odds are, though, Joe, that in the national championship game, both teams are undefeated going into that? Like completely lossless.
Maybe 30%.
It's probably fair, because I think one team will be. I don't know if it's going to be Georgia. I wouldn't say it was going to be Georgia. I'd say if I was to pick one, I guess Oklahoma would be it.
They're probably going to see Texas again, though, in the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe Michigan or Ohio State, like one of those two, if they get it to that point.
That may be the most likely.
Yeah. Or Oregon. I mean, the way that they've played. Or Washington. I could see a Pac-12 team being undefeated.
Because the thing about Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State, whichever one makes it to the championship game, it's not like they have to face one of those other two teams. They're going to face somebody from the other side.
Yeah. Because in the Pac-12, I guess
it's the top 2 teams.
In the Pac-12, because I know the Big 12's got the top 2 teams, is what they do. And the Big 10, they used to do the Leaders and Legends, or whatever those divisions were called.
Yeah,
so.
it's sides.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to change once USC, UCLA, Washington, Oregon get there. Then they'll go more to that format of top 2 teams. But
Yeah.
right now, what's in place, they're facing a team from the other side, from the other division.
I like just taking the top 2 teams. I like that version better. And I know that the SEC is going to be doing the same thing, too. Let's see, from the Sun Structural Solutions text line. Number 501 says, John, I still think we're the best team. Signed, Matt Leinart, former USC quarterback. Isn't that what he said after they lost to Texas in the championship? He's like, I still think we're the best team in the country. Pretty sure that's what it came from.
Yeah, probably so. But it's hard to say something like that when you just saw the results on the field.
Yeah. I'll say this for when that happened. I agree that they were the better team, but not that day.
Yeah, it didn't matter,
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
That stuff doesn't matter.
Vince Young was just unstoppable in that championship. Still,
Patriots may have been the better team
Yep.
overall, but in writing and what goes into the record books, Giants won that Super Bowl, that championship.
Mm-hmm. And also from the 501 says, why I've never understood the personal hate against Saban. He's always been respectful of the opponents, no matter how bad they are, and he's always just businesslike. I have always had a respect for him.
When you win so much, then people start to kind of get away from wanting to see that team win, and now they're wanting to see something new, something different. And Alabama has won so much at a high level. That's why there were some people that took joy in the fact that Clemson beat them a couple of times in championship games.
Yeah. And then what happened after they won a couple championships?
Yeah, nobody wanted to see Clemson win anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, they got tired of it and started poking fun at them too. But because kind of with Kirby Smart, like I don't have a reason to hate Kirby Smart, but they've won back-to-back championships, and I think if they make it back to the playoffs this year, there's going to be a lot of people that are rooting against them because I don't want to see Georgia win.
No, they're already doing that now during the regular season.
Yeah, I like seeing the best team win, and if they win it again for 3 straight, they'll be in the history. They'll be in the record books for doing that.
There's a portion of people that want to see that. They want to see some history.
Yeah, which I respect because I like to see history. I say that, though. I did not want to see history with the Patriots win 19-0. I don't think I've ever rooted against a team in the NFL more than the New England Patriots in 07. Like, just every game I wanted them to lose. And I'm talking about teams that I hated or players that I hated. I wanted them to win. I wanted them to beat the Patriots. I hated it. And I was so happy. I became the biggest Giants fan in the world that day.
So the Dolphins, the 72 Dolphins.
Yes. What was his name?
Mercury Morris.
That's right. Mercury
Every year
Morris.
they pop the champagne. So they're waiting right now on the Niners and Eagles. Their last 2 undefeated teams. They're waiting to see when both those teams are finally going to take a loss, and they'll be ready to celebrate once again.
I just don't see. And you never want to say never, but I just don't see any team in the NFL going undefeated. I mean, that was 72. So you're talking about, what is that now? 50 years? Have we gotten to 50? Am I doing my math right? Yeah. 50 years, roughly. And it hasn't happened. And it's only been one team that's really been close to getting to that point. Yeah.
There have been some one-loss teams that have gotten in position, but yeah, I mean, it's just tough, especially now that they added a 17th game.
Yeah.
It's tough to go through an entire schedule and go undefeated. And that's the same thing with college football. Like, it's good that they're expanding, because how can you expect that teams are going to go 15-0 just to have a chance to win the championship?
Yeah,
and then sometimes, undefeated, they can get shut out and shut away from that, depending on how many teams are involved.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. But was it the Panthers a few years ago when Cam Newton, and they only have one loss?
One loss, and then they got to the Super Bowl and they had a second loss.
Yeah, it wasn't because of Peyton Manning. I can tell you that was bad defense. But there's been some close times, but still, it's always fun to see some history made. But we got more to talk about here on Trash Talk Thursday. 501-661-1037 is that number to call or text in. We'll get to what's trending in the world of sports and keep it moving here on Out of Bounds. So stay with us.
This month is the 46th anniversary of Robert Irwin Jewelers. Get to a Robert Irwin Jewelers store near you and save big on engagement rings, anniversary bands, and diamond pendants. Bigger, brighter diamonds, better prices. Robert Irwin Jewelers, or online at rijewelers.com.
We're back with Wild Bill at Motorsports Authority. Great selection here on the lot, but what about my trade-in, Wild Bill?
We'll trade for just about anything as long as you don't have to feed it. We'll put top dollar in that trade. I'm getting country fried crazy during this sale right now, and I'll tell you what, folks, it's a lot of fun to do business with us. So if you're wanting top dollar for your trade, you need to come see us.
You can check out the complete selection online at msastore.com. Better yet, come see us in Russellville on East Main and Hot Springs on Central. You better get down here to Motorsports Authority.
Touchdown!
The end of the year is near, and Guatney is pulling out all the stops to remain Pulaski County's #1 Buick GMC dealer. Big pre-owned inventory and even bigger discounts on new Buicks and GMCs, even with manufacturer price increases. Guatney Buick GMC next to Sam's in North Little Rock is selling new 2024 models at 2023 prices. You've seen the news. The time to trade is now, before the current auto industry climate skyrockets used prices and all new inventory is depleted. Don't wait. Call Guatney, 501-945-4444. It's the end of the year blowout. Only at Guatney Buick GMC in North Little Rock. Interest rates as low as 0.9%. And get new and pre-owned vehicles with no payments for the rest of the year. Stop by Guatney Buick GMC and register to win a new Hummer. 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. 501-945-4444. GuatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. All offers with approved credit.
From sales, service, parts, and rental equipment, River Valley Tractor does it all and does it right. Your leading Kubota dealer is right around the corner with 5 locations throughout Central Arkansas. River Valley Tractor, serving Central Arkansas in Bryant, Sherwood, Conway, Russellville, and Pine Bluff. Work smarter this year, not harder, with River Valley Tractor. Online at rivervalleytractor.com. River Valley Tractor, closer than you think.
I thought I was going to have to go through a hip replacement or some painful, unsuccessful surgery or be crippled the rest of my life.
Electrical engineer Dan Vogler had awful arthritic pain in his hips, pain that not only affected him physically, but also emotionally, and it spilled over even to his relationships.
I was almost mean. If you're in pain and other people don't sympathize with it, you're lashing out at the wrong people.
But then Dan found QC Kinetics with the latest advances in regenerative medicine, non-surgical treatments with lasting relief.
I felt immediate relief. I mean, within half a day, much of the inflammation and pain was down.
And today, Dan says he's totally pain-free, living the life he wants.
At the end of the 4th treatment, I felt pretty much healed and enthused and was raving about QC Kinetics. I can recommend them highly to anyone.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440.
How important is price when buying tires? Maybe for you, it's what drives you to choose your tire store. How important is service? And what about choosing a tire store that is locally and family-owned? What if I told you that your local, family-owned Big O Tires in Conway and Cabot can offer you the most competitive pricing with the caring service that you expect from your neighbor? Right now, we have huge savings on our most popular sets of tires to keep you and your family safe on the road. Tires, service, and straight talk. Big O Tires.
Justin West returned to Bell & Swart in Conway this Friday, broadcasting from their new, bigger location right across the street from the old location on Oak Street in downtown Conway. The Zone live in Conway this Friday at Bell & Swart.
Get only the best customer service and the best selection of meats at Hoggs Meat Market, where they have sliced boar head deli meats and cheeses. Hoggs Meat Market, the steak people. You're listening to Out of Bounds with John Nabors and Joe Franklin.
Jefferson off play action. Going to throw a little screen pass left side. Has completed the 5 into the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas. Luke has from 11 yards out, and Arkansas is a PAT away from time.
On 103.7 The Buzz.
If you're shopping for a vehicle, you want to get to Gwatney Chevrolet. Gwatney has the best deals in the market, been doing it 60-plus years. Give them a call, 501-982-2102, and take advantage of no payments for the rest of the year. When you get into a vehicle at Gwatney Chevrolet, make the trip to the Gregory Street exit in Jacksonville. Shop them online, GwatneyChevrolet.com. You can see all the deals, the cash allowances, the rebates, even appraise a vehicle, see just how much it's worth. They're giving thousands over book value, whether you trade that vehicle in or you sell it to Gwatney Chevrolet. Gwatney is always actively buying vehicles, so you get a great deal on the vehicle that you trade in or sell. See the entire inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles on GwatneyChevrolet.com. Get that service scheduled today. They have convenient service hours throughout the week. Also Saturday, 7 a.m. until noon. In case you can't make it throughout the week, it's Gwatney Chevrolet, Arkansas's #1 Chevy dealer. Gwatney Chevrolet, GwatneyChevrolet.com.
It's Trash Talk Thursday. We'll get to what's trending in the world of sports in just a second. Also have Dudley Dawson of Hogville.net. Join us on the other side of the break, but got a few people who are calling in. Let's work through these and have Stan in Little Rock. What's up, Stan?
John, my man, how you doing?
Doing good, Stan.
All right, freaking Joe.
What's up, Stan?
Hey, man, you look here. Y'all better watch out. Watch out for that Georgia Steel turf defense. They just started rising to the occasion.
Stan, they haven't been playing at the same level this year.
Yeah, but they finna start blowing folks out now. You see they did to Kentucky, don't you? Better just keep an eye on them. You know, I think they're gonna make history, brother.
They're not gonna
do
peak too soon?
I think they pick it at the right time.
Okay, all right.
And I think they're gonna make history and do something Alabama and Alabama ain't no other team ever done. And this three-P, baby, 3P. Y'all have a good evening, man.
Hey, see you, Stan. Good hearing from you.
It's been a minute since we've heard from Stan. So, yeah, and his phone stayed connected the whole time. Usually it's had a drop there. So, good to hear from Stan. All right, it's his favorite show, or at least day of the week. It's Stat and Conway for Trash Talk Thursday. What's up, Stat?
Hey, fellas, how's it going?
It's going good.
Going good, man.
John?
Yeah.
Your Jets, they're actually maintaining a little bit.
No, not. I don't know about maintaining. I mean, they're 2-3, and they beat the Bills in the opening night, which was great. But then beating the Broncos, they've been pretty terrible this year. So I don't know. I need to see more.
At least they're not 0-5 though.
That is true. It could always be worse. They could be 0-5.
The Razorback defense is ranked number 43 in the country, giving up an average of 5.45 yards per play. The Piggies offense is ranked number 111. The Hoggs have beat teams ranked 105 and a team not ranked in the top 30 in defense. They have lost to the 122nd ranked defense and the 60th ranked defense. They also lost to the quarterback that is 3 passing touchdowns behind Caleb Williams. This week they go against St. Nick and his Crimson Tide. In order to win, the Hogs are going against the 54th ranked offense of the Tide, and the 52nd scoring offense of the Piggies will have to score more than their average of 3.83 touchdowns a game. The Tigers take on the Tigers of the Plain at 6 p.m. The real Tigers of LSU will bring their the 5th highest scoring offense and number 3 ranked offense take on the kids from the Plains in their 25 defense. After this week, their ranking will drop some in a night game in Death Valley. And as Coach O says, Death Valley is where dreams come to die. The one that the Battle of the Boot is currently sitting at. And I'm out.
All right, Stat. Always appreciate you calling in on Old Trash Talk Thursday. That's the one you enjoy the most. Let's go ahead and jump into what's trending in the world of sports.
What's trending in sports is brought to you by Arkansas's own West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock Coffee, the Razorbacks, and their 1.5 million farmers around the globe. It's fall, so now it's time for your team to stock up on coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA today.
All right, what's trending in the world of sports? We know that it is Thursday, and with that comes Thursday Night Football. Tonight on Prime Video, you'll be able to see a division game, and in some cases a division rivalry between the Denver Broncos as well as the Kansas City Chiefs. This game's going to be played in Kansas City, and according to sources, speaking of from Adam Schefter, looks like Travis Kelce is expected to play tonight against the Broncos after dealing with an injury in their previous game. So huge news for the Chiefs. And honestly, they feel like they should beat the Broncos regardless. But we know with these division rivalries, you can never rule out anything. But should be a great game between these two teams. And with Kelce being back into the mix,
game, huh?
yeah, I'm hoping for. I'm trying to will it into existence.
The Broncos actually did play them tough last year, and they played them tough a few times. The only problem is Patrick Mahomes has so much success against the Broncos. He's never lost to them. So maybe this is the time that he actually does lose as the starting quarterback, but got his first start as a rookie last game of the season. It was against the Broncos. And so there were many Broncos fans thinking we're playing against the backups this week, get a win. Nope. Patrick Mahomes goes out and throws all over the Broncos as the backup quarterback this season. And the rest was history from there that vaulted him into being the starter the next year.
Is Taylor Swift going to be there?
It's been said that she is going to be there.
I'm not watching.
We'll see.
I'm not watching.
We'll see.
I figured she would be
on Prime,
but see, that's why. Because I'm pretty sure I might be mistaken. I'm pretty sure though she has some sort of deal with Amazon. I think that's where her only place maybe you can stream her music. I think.
Hey, that's why it makes sense.
I'm done. I can't. I'm gonna follow it on Twitter. Or maybe I'll.
They're going to be on X.
X
also.
They're
going to be all over Swift everywhere. Swifties and Taylor Swift everywhere.
Yeah, but I'm sure Amazon will have little hearts all over the place, and I'm sure friendship bracelets, and the commentators are Kirk Herbstreit and Al Michaels, right? Like, they're going to have all the Taylor Swift references.
Oh, they may get her in a booth.
Can't do it. I just can't do it. But maybe that'll be a good game. Maybe that'll be the redeeming quality of it. But some other news too. We talked about this earlier this week, dealing with the Miami Hurricanes and the game against Georgia Tech, and just the absolute terrible ending for the Hurricanes in that, and whether or not that play was a fumble or not. Well, the ACC officials have come out and they have said that it was the right call that this was ruled a fumble.
Stop.
And I'm like, it's Thursday. Why are you just now coming out and saying it was the right call? It was the right call. In fact, the ACC Game Day Operations Center in Charlotte was the one that made the statement, as he said, quote, "We made the right call on the field based on the angles that were afforded us, and the process and the protocol was followed." Okay, thanks. again, I was like, why is it Thursday and we're just now hearing about
Well,
it?
they're going to say that because they didn't review it to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, at least like the SEC, whenever they put out their notes for Arkansas or whoever they got screwed, they're just like, yeah, there was not a clear immediate recovery. At least I try to like sprucing it up a little bit to make a reason why, you didn't do it or didn't say, hey, our cameras were down on that angle or just something.
They couldn't say that because they show their replay over and over.
Yeah. Find something better than that though. But still, it's they say that it was indeed a fumble. We'll have some other headlines too, because I know we are up against it, but that's fine because we are moving through here on Out of Bounds. And coming up next, we'll have Dudley Dawson of Hogville.net. We'll talk to him about Arkansas football, maybe even some basketball, but also get into just the playoffs for Major League Baseball and some NFL too. We'll talk everything with him. So we'll keep it moving in the second hour of Out of Bounds on a Trash Talk Thursday. It is coming up next, so you better stay with us.
Heartland Rehabilitation and Care Center in Benton proudly offers compassionate and loving care to our veterans, meeting the unique needs of every veteran who calls Heartland home. Visit heartlandrehabcenter.com.
Fence Brokers presents Zach Williams every Tuesday when he gets in the zone with Justin and Wes to talk about what's happening on the Hill and what to expect from this week's big game. Zach Williams in the zone from Fence Brokers, going the extra mile.
At Southern Floor Coating, coatings are all they do, and they won't be beat on price. Factory-trained installers using the purest form of polyurea with UV stability for all your outside projects. When you call, you'll talk with a professional interested in your project, not a voicemail. Don't trust a fly-by-night company that may not be in business next year. Transform your patio, porch, or pool deck and call the real pros at Southern Floor Coating. 501-402-4912 or take a look at southernfloorcoating.com.
Facility Maintenance Services presents Melinda Mayo when she joins Morning Mayhem each Thursday morning. Serving Central Arkansas, Facility Maintenance Services. We don't cut corners, we clean them.
Our guys aren't so bad, right?
This is taking unsportsmanlike conduct to a whole new level.
Well, maybe not. 103.7 The Buzz, KABZ, Little Rock. Buzz News with Channel 7's Cassandra Webb.
Officials in Yell County are preparing their safety protocols for April's total solar eclipse. The Yell County Quorum Court passed an ordinance Tuesday that'll be in effect from now until April 30th. It requires anyone establishing a village, meaning 10 or more people in a single area, to apply for a permit. Arkansas is in the narrow path of totality for the eclipse, and huge crowds are expected to flock here for the event. And officials want to document where those large groups of people will be so first responders can be placed nearby. Applications for permits in Yell County must be submitted at least 90 days prior to the solar eclipse on April 8th. A portion of Broadway Street in North Little Rock will be closed starting tomorrow, so structural steel can be installed on the new I-30 bridge. The Department of Transportation says Broadway will be closed between North Olive and North Locust Streets from Friday at 10 p.m. until Monday, October 16th at 5 a.m. From the Channel 7 Newsroom, I'm Cassandra Webb.
Game day starts with the Mud Connection Hog Wild pregame show with Trey Shapp and David Basil. Brought to you in part by Bud Light and the Holiday Inn Express and Suites off Weddington and Fayetteville.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with Channel 7's Melinda Mayo.
Partly cloudy with a high around 78 this afternoon, so not quite as warm. And tonight slowed down to 62. Back up to 83 on Friday ahead of a cold front tomorrow with just a small rain chance, but a nice cool down for the weekend. From the Channel 7 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Melinda Mayo.
Today's special at the Riverfront Steakhouse in the Wyndham Hotel. Dinner for two for $60. Split a 10-ounce filet, fried shrimp, and our famous salad bar.
Hey, it's Houston Nutt. I'll be on Morning Mayhem every Wednesday this football season. We're going to get ready to hit that line and root on those Hogs because we got the wood, y'all. And when you need a new pole barn, metal roof, or still building? Go see my friends at Reed's Metals of Benton, where you can buy direct and save online at reedsmetals.com.
It's Kayak Chaos at Arts Marine. Pick your perfect kayak from their large inventory and start exploring the natural state. Right now, get 20% off feel-free kayaks. We also slash prices on Moken 10 and Lure 10 kayaks. Your granddaddy trusted Arts Marine, so should you.
Justin Acre reminding you that if you want the job done right, then don't stress. Just go with the best. CertaPro Painters is your go-to painting company. You can get your free estimate scheduled at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. People who are going to be responsible and people who are going to be accountable to you and your family to make sure your project gets done right. So if you've been thinking about sprucing up your home or business for the fall season that is almost upon us, you need to get CertaPro on the case. Use the company that I've used many times over the years. It is CertaPro Painters. You'll be happy you did.
Strength is measured not by the number of accounts. Strength is placing value on relationships. It's having the vision and the guts to invest in growth. It's the commitment to responsibly manage your money. At Stephens, we believe that our strengths build success, not only for us, but for our clients. Stephens, member NYSE, SIPC.
I know the last 3 years, people have got accustomed to paying sticker price for a brand new vehicle. Well, it's not that way anymore at Red River Ram. If you're looking for a new Ram truck, we've got heavy-duty four-wheel drive trucks starting at $49,500 or up to $12,000 off sticker price for a Cummins diesel. And we've got $11,000 off Ram 1500 Bighorn four-wheel drive trucks. If you want the best selection and the best buying experience, make that beautiful drive right here to Heber Springs. Now during Ram Power Days.
Join Drive Time Sports each weekday for the Trey Biddy Report, brought to you by Asher Wrecker and Recovery. Find out the latest on the Razorback recruits and all the D1 prospects in the state each weekday. It's the Trey Biddy Report on Drive Time Sports, presented by Asher Wrecker and Recovery.
And ESPN Radio Extra Point with Hugh Myers and Emmett Golden.
The trash talk, I love it. I absolutely love. This is the time to do it because it's for you're playing for everything. You either win or go home if you don't win this series and you don't get to your goal of winning a World Series. So I just love the intensity that the Phillies are playing with right now.
You know, and they came in with so much edge to them. And what I mean by that is, you know, the Braves were the better team. They beat everybody by 15, 16 games. You know, they knocked out the Phillies last year. So they have all this on their mind. And man, Philadelphia, who had to continue playing, Emmett, and this is something we talked about. Teams that are playing and playing and playing, they have a little bit more juice than the team that was at home waiting. Philadelphia, they brought some fire. When they punched their ticket to the divisional series, they were already on fire. You get back to Philly, that crowd is a real factor. And man, I mean, I don't know who's going to slow down Philadelphia at this point.
Discover, this is Danny.
Hi, it's Jen Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Are you hungry? Because everyone left after the asparagus sorbet.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
At the Home Depot, Saturdays are about two things. The one-of-a-kind wood-fired flavor of a Traeger Ironwood XL grill. And football. That's right, Desmond Howard. Get fired up for the game in just a tap with Traeger's intuitive touchscreen. Then throw on your favorites and monitor the grill from anywhere with Wi-Fi technology. So you spend less time staring at the grill, which means more time for football. Upgrade your Saturday with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Live from the Hoggs Meat Market Studios, this is Out of Bounds.
Well, our team's excited to go to Alabama. They are playing extremely well defensively, swarming to the football. Really physical group up front. Defensive ends are outstanding. Offensively, I think Milroe is leading the team exceptionally and well. They've got a couple of running backs that are really, really good. It's a huge challenge for us, and our kids are excited to go to Alabama and see what happens.
Yeah.
With John Nabors.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas.
And Joe Franklin.
We won't go in the shell. We won't go in attack mode because that's what's required.
On 103.7 The Buzz.
Girl, I can buy your Westie world with my base stuff. I know that it's good. You sitting on my taste buds. I get way too busy
I quit your BM, I still rock Mercedes funk. If I quit this season, I still be the greatest funk. My left stroke just went viral. Right stroke put a baby in a spiral. Soprano C, we like to keep it on the high note. It's levels to it, you and I know. Tell them be humble. Sit down. 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 Be humble.
1 hour down, 2 hours to go. Appreciate everybody listening in on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. John Nabors, Joe Franklin, broadcasting live from the Hoggs Meat Market Studios with you today. And thank you, as always, for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon. It is a Trash Talk Thursday. We're going to have Dudley Dawson here just a little bit. So we'll have a chance to catch up with him with recruiting and everything that's been going on in the sports world and have some fun with him on that. But did see that apparently Traylon Burks, wide receiver for the Titans, will not be making the trip out to London for Sunday's game against the Ravens, and he is going to be out. So we'll update there for former Razorback Traylon Burks.
It's been an issue with him here lately as far as staying on the field, staying healthy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's something that where you mentioned that he's having to deal with it, and he's such a great player whenever he's actually on the field and being a part of it. Yeah. And to be able to be as great as he is, honestly, with the size, the speed, the athleticism, everything, they're trying to, make some strides there over in Tennessee, but we'll see how that plays out for him. But still wanted to keep you updated on it. I also have a Razorback basketball story that I want to bring up, and it has to deal with Javon Quinterly, which those of you may remember him. He was the guy that was on Alabama for many years, and he has transferred to Memphis. And he's talking about Arkansas quite a bit and had some interesting comments about Arkansas and about Eric Musselman and everything, which, I thought was pretty fascinating. But we'll talk about that and a lot more as we go to the phone lines and welcome in Dudley Dawson of hogville.net, friend of the show. Always great to be joined by Dudley Dawson. What's going on, Dudley? How you doing this afternoon?
Just getting ready for the weekend, got some guests coming in and then getting a little shopping done.
Oh, hey, that's what it's all about, man. It's that time of year, and I know you're enjoying this time of year too, with not only football going on, college football and NFL, but even some Major League Baseball playoffs, which we've been talking about a bit today too.
Yeah, and NBA preseason games. We got to watch the Celtics 3 times in the past 5 days, so it's a good TV grouping right now. Just disappointed that the Cardinals aren't participating, but apparently the Dodgers just went one more round than they did, so we'll be okay.
What are Celtics looking like so far? Jason Tatum hasn't played just yet. What are they looking like as far as some of the stars that have played? Has Jaylen Brown played?
Well, Jason played in the first game. Actually, didn't shoot the ball that well, but Drew Holiday is obviously a big pickup for him. Kristaps Porzingis a big pickup for him. They're a little shy on the depth that maybe they had last year, but I think that that firepower on offense is better. I also think that they've got a rotation that's going to be better. And certainly Peyton Pritchard has, after getting his new little contract, has come out shooting the ball like the young Dudley he looks like.
What do you think of Drew Holiday for Marcus Smart? Now, Marcus Smart was that defender, and Drew Holiday is known as a defender also. Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year 1 year. Do you think Drew Holiday is giving him something, a little more something offensively that Marcus Smart didn't give him?
Yeah, I do think offensively now. I think they're, obviously Drew Holiday's been an all-NBA guard as well defensively. That's where Marcus Smart made his money. I do think Marcus was surely streaky, and I do think that Drew Holiday is a better all-around offensive player. And really, to be honest, Marcus Smart has been a glue guy, and Drew Holiday is a point guard. And when you look at Evan Smith, when you look at last year having Smart and Malcolm Brogdon, they weren't getting the production I think they'll get out of the 2 this year that they have with the pickup of Drew Holiday and Peyton Pritchard when they're coming on.
So definitely just talking also about Major League Baseball playoffs. I know your team, the Cardinals, are not in it, but have you still been watching it, keeping up with it, and enjoying it?
Oh, absolutely. And baseball is my sport, my second love behind my wife. And one of the, you just keep looking at it. I think they're maybe going to have to fix the wild card situation a little bit, because having 5 days off seemingly has affected the Braves. It certainly affected the Dodgers, and some other teams in there as well. I think they're going to have to cut that down somehow, and maybe not have as many days between, the end of the season and the teams who had the best records getting back into play.
It's the ultimate argument of rest versus rust, but
right.
at this time of the year, don't you want, as one of those higher seeds, to have a little time off to be able to heal a little bit and just sit back and watch what the other teams are doing? And you don't necessarily have the pressure of having to play that week, and you can sit back and rest. But the showing that's been put out there so far is why people would say, it's too much time off. But if you had those teams that dominated and then they moved on, it'd be the other way around.
Yeah, one of the things, though, is the way this thing's played itself out and the way some series went in that first one. I think it maybe was the Dodgers who had played 3 games over the course of 11 days. And, had an 8-game stretch there where they didn't play a single game. I mean, I think obviously their pitching was the problem with them. But, yeah, I think that when they went into the season with all these rule changes and stuff, I didn't like it. I was very, vocal about it. I came to grips with that, and I would imagine that the teams and the fans will come to grips with preparing better for, having a little time off there at the end. And another thing, you see these wild card teams, they have been playing full out to the wall, to try to get into playoffs. The ones that have were 14 games ahead kind of eased up, and I think you can see that a little bit.
Speaking with Dudley Dawson of Hogville.net here on Out of Bounds. Now, Dudley, I do want to talk a little bit about Arkansas football with you. They're 2-4. They got Bama coming up this weekend on the road in Tuscaloosa. I mean, I'm sure you've been asked about it. You've talked about it a whole lot, just like we have. But man, what do you do now? What do you say to this? Because that it was having a high expectation of at least getting to bowl eligibility, maybe even winning 7 games, maybe 8 games. But at this point in time, this team's just fighting to even get the bowl eligibility, considering how the season's gone so far.
Well, there's a couple of things that I want to bring up. Number one, I thought they would have 3 wins. I thought they would beat BYU at home. That loss is going to sting for a long time. And BYU's a decent football team, but again, there were things there where Arkansas should have won the football game. The issues that I see, and I'm not Nostradamus here. Everybody can see that the offense is down the rushing is over half what they had last year. They're just not getting it down the offensive line. I think the backs are culpable in that as well. And obviously KJ's running for his life. Also, the offense is down almost 150 yards total offense from last year. You can't survive those things. I do think it's, I have a lot of trouble putting it on defense. They have given up 125 yards less this year. Obviously a lot more pressure, doing things differently. I think Coach Williams and Coach Woodson have done a great job. Over there, and they just need some help on offense. I think that this is going to be an interesting game. Alabama is a much better football team than Arkansas, but these are the 2 most penalized teams in the SEC, and these 2 teams have given up the most sacks, which I would have thought that out of Arkansas, but not out of Alabama when you do a deep dive into their stats.
So what's the right game plan for Arkansas going against Bama, offensively and defensively?
Well, I think we all can agree that KJ can't be a sitting duck back there in the pocket. And, just like with Mississippi State, whose new coach, who's their defense coordinator, came in and tried to revamp the air raid offense. It hadn't worked out well for Will Rogers at all. I think maybe they should have eased into the way they were changing the offense here with Coach Enos. Certainly, Kendall Browse got a lot of heat last year, and he deserved some of his play calls. But they certainly were much better up front. I know they had an NFL guy, a couple of NFL guys, I guess, that were on the offensive line. But this shouldn't have gone back this far. I think that, here we are 6 games into the season. You're still questioning your identity. Your identity was supposed to be running football. You hadn't been able to do that. And you can't protect him in the pocket. So you're going to have to move him out of the pocket, do some different things. I think get back more to the RPOs than this drop back stuff, which, Coach Enos has been really good at over the years. He's been very good at a lot of stops, but it just ain't working this year. And, if you sit around and just say everything's going to be okay, that's just not true. I mean, there's a valid level of criticism, a valid level of frustration from the fan base because this should not be happening. And not maybe I could see them being, 2-4 and having a 4-game losing streak, but the way they're doing it offensively has just been really pathetic.
Yeah, and I think that's where the frustrations rise too, because you mentioned the blocking. There's the run blocking hasn't been good, the pass protection hasn't been good, and I know there's a lot of factors into it. Is it more about the enos and the offense and the style of everything? Is it because maybe a lot of the offensive linemen they have aren't good or aren't the talented enough to be at this level? Like where do you kind of point to as far as maybe the biggest factor is why this team, who has been so good at running the ball since Sam Pittman's been here, and Sam Pittman being an offensive lineman guy, why is this team struggling so much to not only just run block, but pass protect and just do anything right up front?
Well, just as I will say that I like the head coach, I think he's a good dude. I think the offensive line is a good dude, but it's just not getting done up there. We have to go back and take a look. He was the tight end coach, and then Brad Davis went to LSU, and they elevated him, moved over to offensive line. I think that was a buddy hire more than a hire in terms of what you could get done. I think he was trying to mentor Coach Kennedy. Again, I think he's a good guy, but it's not working. And it's got to be some type of combination of, recruiting. Even though they got a lot of the top guys in Arkansas, maybe the top guys in Arkansas, are going to take time to become the guys we thought they'd be. Also, the portal with Josh Braun, I think they did pretty well, but I don't think any of the other portal guys have come in and done anything. We heard names in spring. We heard it in the fall. They're not playing. Devon Manuel's been hurt. So I think you have to put it all on recruiting, development, and just being able to get to these kids. I actually got excited, I guess it was a week ago Monday when Coach Pittman was out on the field and dropped an F-bomb and told the offensive line that the University of Arkansas is an offensive line school. Well, it's not this year. And, that has to lie at the feet of the head coach. It has to lie at the feet of the offensive line coach. And I think we all know there's going to be changes for the end of the year. And I think there are at least, I think the Coach Kennedy's coaching for his job right now. And it's tough on him, I'm sure. And it's tough on those kids. But college football is a big business. It's more like the NFL in every way now. And results matter. You are what your record says you are. All those cliches, and it's just not getting done.
What's the latest in recruiting? Of course, they won't be able to have recruits and host them until they get back home against Mississippi State, but the latest in recruiting for 2024 and 2025.
Well, I would say the best thing that's happened so far during these 4 losses is nobody's jumped off the ship to this point. I think a lot of people are worried, if this streak continues and you end up 3-9 or 4-8, something like that, you're going to have some guys leaving. We're to see how that goes because a lot of these guys, and obviously Otis Craig, Richard Davenport guys, focus on that more than I do these days. But a lot of these guys are here because they want to play for the University of Arkansas, or they want to play for Coach Pittman, or they want to play for some of the defensive guys, the position coaches. But it would be, it'd be knocking my head upside the wall to think nobody out of the 20 plus that they've got so far, and it's a really good class, is going to opt out. I mean, you look at I cover a lot of baseball recruiting. Dave Van Horn, great program, but he's had 2 guys in the past month who have opted out and decided to go elsewhere in the 2025 class. And it's just, kids, change for different reasons. You have got to show them some promise at the end of the year to keep it as close to the best as you can, though.
Now, a lot of Razorback fans, too, Dudley, have kind of turned the page already to basketball. It seems like that way. And, of course, the red-white game happened last week and have a chance with SEC Basketball Media Days next week. And then you have some exhibition games that people are going to be excited to see what this team's all about. Just what have you been making of what you've seen from the team and heard from the team so far? But also, I think some people are watching is about the Khalif Battle situation. He got injured in the red-white game. Haven't heard much of an update on that, but just what do you make of the team thus far as they get ready for the preseason here soon?
Yeah, I suspect we'll hear a little bit more on Khalif after this weekend. They have an exhibition game next Friday night against, I can't even remember the hyphen that comes with this Texas, hyphen somebody. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's, Division II school that, you use to get ready. And then obviously the following Saturday they play Purdue, with which is a top 5 team. Here's what I would say about basketball. I feel like they're going to have the same kind of success they had last year at the end. I also think there might be some issues at the start. It has been, getting these guys. You could bring in so many guys, you have to get them to where they play together. A lot of it. The one thing I will say, this year there's an abundance of people who have played college basketball and played it well, instead of being very talented, coming in here and learning how to play college basketball. Even all those guys got drafted with the NBA had great talent. I think that's going to be a benefit. But I think they're going to have some, they'll have some losses early on, and people will lose their mind. And then they'll do the same thing that they've done in the past few years, is when it gets time for the tournament, make a run. And, I've watched some practice, and I see a lot there. But I often take other people's opinions who follow college basketball more than mine. And they are they're legitimate for all these so-called basketball experts. They're a legitimate top 15 team for sure. Some of them have top 10. Many of them have them as the best team in the SEC, if not, then one of the top 3. So, it's not just us up here taking a look and saying, hey, they're really good going against each other. There is the so-called college basketball experts expect them to be really good. And why wouldn't we, with what Musselman has been able to do over the course of the time that he's been here?
The comments we've heard over the last couple of years going into each season for Razorback basketball, it's going to be a better shooting team. Now, we heard that last year before. Is this the year we're finally going to see a better shooting team?
You're not going to get me to say that. I'm not just going to say they're a better shooting team. What I will say is it would be awfully hard to not be as good, if not better, shooting team than they were last year, and that was ineffectiveness on that roster, not on this one. Obviously, the ton of their offense last year had to do with getting to the rim. And, that worked sometimes, and defenses stopped them other times. That's why they had such good games when they would hit the 3 well or hit, mid-range jumpers. But that was not the strength of that class. I will say that Joseph Pinion looks like a whole new player. He was on fire during the red-white game, so we'll take out of that what we can. But I do think that the potential is there. But in no way am I going to sit here and say it's going to be a better shooting team, because there's just not a good enough body of work and them working together for me to go out there and state that.
Also, Dudley, just something I thought was interesting of this basketball team, and of course, knowing that Muss does the whole, 7 players, maybe 8 players and much in rotation. When you look at the roster, are there some players that maybe people are looking at, or maybe one of the true freshmen that they're looking at saying, oh man, this guy can help us out here, but may get kind of on the outside looking in as far as playing time goes? Like, who do you feel? We know who's going to play, but like, as far as who's going to probably not be in the rotation for Arkansas this year?
Well, you start your way from the youngest guys on up. I think Layden Block is a phenomenal player. I think Bayfall is a phenomenal player. But they're going to have to be really good to get in that rotation because of the people that are also here. Layden, I think, is the truest point guard on the team that they have. I think that's going to help them a lot. And I do say this every year, man, they have a lot of talent. Man, they've got a lot of options. And each year he figures out who's going to play defense for you. He figures out, the chemistry and all that, and he ends up playing 7, 8, or 9. The 15 roster reduced to 13 hadn't hurt him any over the course of his career. But it's just so hard right now, and obviously some injuries. And, they had one young man who let Dixon Street get him, already. So, we'll just have to see how it plays. If I get to the season, play hard, play defense, you'll get to play. Got to stay optimistic.
Now, you said that Layden is the truest point guard. He's going to have to battle for time with Devo and who else to try to get on the court?
Ellis that transferred in here is another one. And even Khalif Battle, good place on there. Again, a lot of options, but just in what I've seen over the course of watching tape, seeing these guys when they were growing up, whether they came here and recruited first or not, he was just, I really like the kid. I think he's got an NBA type future. I think he's one of the best that's come along here in a while. And I think it was a tremendous decision. I know it certainly didn't help his high school team, but it was a tremendous decision for him to go play higher level competition. And I think that's worked out for him, and I think he's going to be a star. And he's also a great young man. He's going to be a great representative of the University of Pitt.
So we got about 30 seconds. Your Cowboys, how you feeling about that loss to 49ers and moving forward?
They absolutely suck. That game was just horrible, man. But, I think that says more about the 49ers than it did about the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are in middle of the pack NFL team right now. The defense is not as good as I thought it was. Dak is certainly either going to have to get better or he's about to miss another big payday. And, I'll just sit back and watch it unfold. So.
Well, Dudley, as always, man, we appreciate you joining us. It's a lot of fun this time of year talking sports with you. Enjoy your weekend, man, and we'll be catching up with you soon.
All right, anytime, guys.
I'd appreciate it. Again, that was Dudley Dawson of Hogville.net joining us here on Out of Bounds. We're going to keep it going on a Trash Talk Thursday coming up next, so stay with us.
This is Trey Reed from the Wild Side on 103.7 The Buzz, inviting you to join Mark Hedrick and me Tuesday nights at 7 p.m.
Brought to you by Westrock Landing at Lake Maumelle, Edwards Food Giant, All About Tire and Brake, Battery Outfitters, and Trader Bill's Outdoors, Hot Springs, and Little Rock locations.
It's the Wild Side, Tuesday at 7 p.m., only on 103.7 The Buzz.
This is Sports Center.
100-win teams in the Major League Baseball playoffs have not fared too well as the Diamondbacks finished off the Dodgers, beating them 4-2 last night. Arizona became the first team to ever hit 4 home runs in one inning in postseason history as 4 Diamondbacks went deep off of Lance Lynn in the third. The last time Arizona went to the NLCS was 2007. The Dodgers and the Orioles are both 100-win teams and both were swept. The Atlanta Braves are the only other 100-win team in the majors, and they find themselves in danger of elimination as they fell to the Phillies 10-2 last night. They trailed 2-1 in the series. Philadelphia can punch their ticket to the NLCS with a win tonight. First pitch is set for 7:07 on TBS. And the ALCS is set. It'll be a battle for Texas between the Astros and the Rangers. Game 1 will be on Sunday. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
We're back here with Wild Bill at Motorsports Authority. Lots of folks talking football, but we're talking great deals, Wild Bill.
All of our customers are a winner right here at Motorsports Authority, folks. We're passing out the lowest prices possible for any vehicle that we got. We're passing out top dollars for the trades. We'll trade for just about anything as long as you don't have to feed it. And I tell you what, folks, we're having a great time right here at Motorsports Authority.
In Russellville on East Main and Hot Springs on Central or online at msastore.com. Get here to Motorsports Authority.
Go Hogs!
If you are looking for a safe and loving home for you or your loved one, visit Heartland Rehabilitation and Care Center. Just 15 minutes from Little Rock and Benton, our skilled nursing staff is dedicated to providing quality long-term care and short-term therapy. Visit heartlandrehabcenter.com. You can call Heartland home.
At Southern Floor Coating, coatings are all they do, and they won't be beat on price. Factory-trained installers using the purest form of polyurea with UV stability for all your outside projects. When you call, you'll talk with a professional interested in your project, not a voicemail. Don't trust a fly-by-night company that may not be in business next year. Transform your patio, porch, or pool deck and call the real pros at Southern Floor Coating. 501-402-4912 or take a look at southernfloorcoating.com.
The end of the year is near, and Gwatney is pulling out all the stops to remain Pulaski County's #1 Buick GMC dealer. Big pre-owned inventory and even bigger discounts on new Buicks and GMCs, even with manufacturer price increases. Gwatney Buick GMC next to Sam's in North Little Rock is selling new 2024 models at 2023 prices. You've seen the news. The time to trade is now, before the current auto industry climate skyrockets used prices and all new inventory is depleted. Don't wait. Call Gwatney 501-945-4444. It's the end of the year blowout. Only at Gwatney Buick GMC in North Little Rock. Interest rates as low as 0.9%. And get new and pre-owned vehicles with no payments for the rest of the year. Stop by Gwatney Buick GMC and register to win a new Hummer. 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. 501-945-4444. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. All offers with approved credit.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks is always adding exciting cocktails to the menu, like the expertly balanced Sincoro Hall of Fame Margarita. Try it at your local lodge today.
Cord TV's Chanley Painter checks in with Morning Mayhem courtesy of the Gangster Museum of America and the Hattery of Hot Springs. The former Miss Arkansas will fill us in on the latest high-profile cases. Don't miss Chanley Painter with Morning Mayhem on 103.7 The Buzz.
Check out Hoggs Meat Market's monthly specials and meat packages at hoggsmeatmarket.com. Hoggs Meat Market, the steak people. You're listening to Out of Bounds with John Nabors and Joe Franklin.
Third down, here comes LSU. KJ, flush, rolling right, keeps his eyes downfield, throwing deep, got Has at the 20, to the 15, to the 10, 5, touchdown Arkansas. There's your play. 59 yards to Luke Has.
On 103.7 The Buzz.
It's a great time to get to Twin Peaks for happy hour, 2 to 7. Later, happy hour, 10 to close. Enjoy all the food and drink specials that go along with it. Get a lunch combo starting as low as $7.99. If you want to take some food to go, you can order online, curbside, or to go, courtesy of Postmates, DoorDash, and Uber Eats. Twin Peaks has great drink specials during happy hour, apps for $2, $4, and $6. Twin Peaks also has daily and weekly specials. So check in for the daily specials, the specials going on during the week. Plenty of seating inside and out, wall-to-wall TVs to see all the sports action. There's Thursday night football with the Broncos taking on the Chiefs tonight. Major League Baseball, college football, NFL coming up this weekend. Saturday is National Dessert Day. So get by Twin Peaks to celebrate with an apple turnover, Cinnamon Toast Crunch cheesecake, or Twin Peaks Sunday. And that night, KSI takes on Tommy Fury in boxing. And it's going to be something to watch, and they're making preps for Logan Paul, who's going to be taking on Dylan Dennis also. So Twin Peaks is your headquarters to see all the sports action, especially the combat sports, boxing, MMA. It's Twin Peaks. Eats, drink, scenic views.
It is a Trash Talk Thursday here on Out of Bounds. If you want in on the conversation, 501-661-1037 is the number to call or text in. And in fact, on our Southern Structural Solutions text line, Jesse in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where Arkansas is going to be this weekend, says, John and Joe, come on down, man. It's homecoming weekend, and the town is going to be pumped up. Looking forward to keeping this 16-game winning streak up against Arkansas for 16 years in a row. Yeah, well, I've been there to Tuscaloosa. Yeah, it's like
Arkansas is the homecoming opponent.
Yeah. Is that still an insult? Is that still a thing? Like if the team makes you their homecoming, is that like, I don't know.
Nah.
I don't.
No, it's just like
so.
11 a.m. starts. Everybody's past that.
I know. Like a homecoming to me is just not a thing. I know that it used to be a lot bigger of a deal because I guess when you had like boosters and alumni and people coming in, that was like the game they would come in for was homecoming, and you'd have to show out for them.
It was one of those opponents that you were expected to win the game.
Yeah, and you'd get a lot of money if you look good and they like the product on the field, but at least when I was in school at the U of A, homecoming could not give two rips about. Like just who was on the homecoming court. It's great if you were on it.
That's surprising.
But yeah, I don't know if it was maybe more so that the Greek life was more about it, which I had a lot of friends that were in Greek life, and that was great that they were involved, but it wasn't anything as far as like the event itself being big. I felt like Mom's Day that they had on Saturdays or Dad's Day, that those were bigger deals than homecoming. I just never understood it, never got into it. They have their little halftime ceremony, and I'm like, I don't know who these people are. I don't know what they accomplished. I guess they got voted on, but still, just a weird thing that homecoming is still a deal where people talk about it and schedule games and whatnot. I don't see it as an insult. I don't care. I guess Arkansas's homecoming is against Mississippi State. So
no, it should be because they've been away from home for so long.
That's literally a homecoming.
Exactly.
Literally. It could not be more of a homecoming, literally and figuratively. But yeah, I don't know. I just never had a problem with people scheduling homecoming games against certain teams. I don't take it as an insult, but I guess some people still do. Let's go to JK. Here's in Fairfield Bay. What's up, JK?
Hey, guys, I was like 10 years old when Arkansas won a national championship in football. I remember a few things about it, but I was wanting to ask you guys, didn't Brock Purdy end up in the right situation at the right team at the right time? I mean, this guy has to be the luckiest dude on the planet, and I'll hang up and listen, man.
Yeah, he did get to a great situation for sure. And then just, fortunately for him, unfortunately for others, that there were injuries along the way, and he was there to seize the opportunity.
So how do you distinguish, though, of someone just getting lucky and being in the right situation? Well, I believe there is that too, but you could also look at it in the other way, like, well, the 49ers, they kind of got lucky with getting a draft pick like Brock Purdy so late in the draft where they didn't have to
absolutely
trade up and all that. So it could be a two-way street for both parties. I don't even know if you say getting lucky. It's just a good fit, and it works out.
It's a great fit for
Yeah.
sure. Kyle Shanahan is somebody that makes quarterbacks look better also. And so maybe there's something to that. But no, Brock Purdy is definitely putting in the work, and he deserves all the praise that's coming his way.
Yeah. You could even say with Tom Brady when he was at the Patriots, he was a very late draft pick. Was it more about lucking into it, or was it just a good fit? I think it could be a little bit of both, which, by the way, I saw that there was an article and some sources that were being cited from The Athletic that says with the New England Patriots, the entire New England Patriots organization needs to improve and fast. And apparently Robert Kraft is so, quote, frustrated and downright angry over the shortage of the success that he would be willing to fire Bill Belichick after this season if it does not improve.
Yeah, there's something to that. That's like we talked to PB yesterday, Pat Bradley, and that divide is becoming even wider. Where was it really Belichick or was it Brady? At first, it was like nobody could decide, but now we clearly see that it had a lot to do with Tom Brady, and they just aren't the same team.
So say big if, they decided to move on from Bill Belichick, fire him, whatever. Is he staying in football? Is he staying a head coach somewhere? Or do you think he just retires and calls it a career?
That'd be tough. Now, of course, there'd be offers for him, and somebody would want to go get him right away. But what kind of project does he want to take on? Does he want to take on a team that is rebuilding and trying to get to a certain level? Or, it's more going to be about his mindset. There'll be offers for him, but it would be more about, is he ready to step away or does he want to continue coaching?
I think it'd also be kind of similar to what it was with Tom Brady. If he's going to keep coaching, it's got to be the right situation for him to walk into.
Yeah, but when you have job openings, it's always going to be teams that are, have struggled like the Patriots have. And those are going to be the openings where teams didn't win many games this year. They may be hitting the reset button at the quarterback position. So there would be a lot to go into that.
I know that people like the Cowboys fans, if they have a suspect year here, they're going to be hey.
Now, that would be one to point to.
That would be fun. That would be entertaining. That would be wild.
But they've done that before, though, with Bill Parcells.
Right. Yeah, because with him coming in, I remember how big of a deal it was to get Bill Belichick or Bill Parcells, and how the Sports Illustrated put together this story of like Jerry Jones and Bill Belichick. How's it going to work out? You saw how it worked out, but I've just always been fascinated to see the Cowboys coaching search, which say what you want about the Cowboys, but it's not like that they just cycle through coaches right and left. I mean, they got Wade Phillips was there for quite a few years. Jason Garrett was there for quite a few years, even though some Cowboys fans maybe felt too many years.
There's a reason for that, because Jerry likes his guys. He handpicks them. And going back to the whole deal with Parcells, it would be the same type of effect. How much control do you want to give a coach like Bill Belichick? So that may not be the right situation for him, because he is one of those guys that wants that control. That's what he has with the Patriots now.
No, looks like he'd be willing to, Robert Kraft, that is willing to make a move if it gets continuing to get the way that it has been and not having a lot of success, which makes sense, but still a lot of time in front of him and a lot of season left. Let's go to Lewis, who's in Little Rock. What's up, Lewis?
Hey, how you doing, John and Joe?
Good.
Doing great, Lewis.
Good. Hey, you were talking about Brock Purdy a while ago. Joe knows this. I'm a Cowboys fan. I don't like the 49ers, but I got to give that guy his props, man. Did you see how accurate he was throwing the ball?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was hitting the receivers dead in stride. They didn't have to, turn around, stop, or anything like that. I mean, he was right on. And what I like, what he did, he took what the defense was giving him, and that's why I get frustrated with Dak, and that's why I've said before that as long as Dak's our quarterback, we won't go anywhere. Is because he took all those sacks, and I rewound it, and there was receivers wide open, like 5 yards, 6 yards. But instead of taking that, he's trying to hit the home run a lot of times, and he'll take a sack. And now your team is in 2nd and 14 or 15 instead of 2nd down and 4 or 5. And that's what Purdy was doing. He wasn't throwing the ball down the field all the time. He was taking what the Dallas defense was giving him, and they wound up with 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4, or if it wasn't open down the field, he'd throw it out in the flat to his back, and he runs 7 yards. And so that's the difference in the two teams is the quarterback play.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Lewis, are you over Dak? You want to move on from Dak, or you just want him to improve?
I've been over Dak since his first or second year.
Oh.
I've called the buzz several times and said the same on a couple of different shows. Dak Prescott is not a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and until we get another quarterback, because look at all the talent on that team, man, offensively and defensively. There's no reason for them to be struggling like they are, especially against Phoenix or Arizona, whatever you call them. To lose that game, that was ridiculous.
So, Lewis, you're saying that Jerry isn't being truthful when he says that Dak is the quarterback that can take them where they want to be?
No, Jerry hasn't been truthful in years. And you were talking about Bill Belichick. No, there's no way Belichick will go there. Jimmy Johnson was the same type of coach, and you see, and they were supposedly best friends, and you see where they got him.
Right.
So no, as long as Jerry's there and as long as Dak's there, it'll never happen. Absolutely not. And then last but not least, did you guys see hear about the Dusty Hannah situation?
Yes. Yeah, I talked to him about it.
Yeah, man, that was something. And the thing is, Jalen Tate and Justin Smith, they're still there. They weren't able to get out like Dusty was. So yeah, we need to give those guys our prayers, man, that everything goes okay, because that's pretty terrifying.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hey, we got to run though. We appreciate it, Lewis, as always. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, thoughts and prayers to everybody over there. And that's a serious situation, especially with the former Razorback still being there too. We got more Out of Bounds coming up next, so stay with us.
Justin Anker reminding you the CertaPro Painters is here to help you as we transition from summer into fall. And if you're thinking about doing something to the outside of your home, maybe it's long overdue, CertaPro Painters is here to help. Have them come over, give you an estimate, and they can help walk you through the process of what it'll take to get it done. They can help you out with the color selection and everything else you need to get the job done right. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. For your home, for your business, get your place looking right with the help of my friends at CertaPro Painters.
This is Pat Bradley for River City Flooring, where you can pick your payment. Get 0% interest for 12, 24, or 36 months. And River City Flooring in Maumelle is where you'll save 50% on all in-stock waterproof LVP flooring. And did you know River City Flooring carries cabinets? So stop in and let my friends at River City Flooring help you with your remodel. Kitchen, bath, living, dining, they do it all. Check out River City Flooring in Maumelle at their huge new showroom on Maumelle Boulevard just off 430.
Back by popular demand, Gwatney Chevrolet in Jacksonville is letting you phone in your down payment this month. Instead of trading your old phone for a new phone, trade your old phone towards a car at Gwatney Chevrolet in Jacksonville. This month at Gwatney, your old phone qualifies as a down payment allowance. Phone stores just want to trade for the newest model. Trade your phone for a new ride, and we'll give you even more value for your older phone. A current phone equals a $500 down payment allowance. Flip phone, $550 down payment allowance. Brick phone, $600 down payment allowance. But bring in Grandpa's old bag phone, that's a $700 down payment allowance towards your new ride. Plus, no payments until after New Year's. Everyone has an old phone, and everyone gets approved. 1301 TP White Drive in Jacksonville. 501-982-2102. WatneyChevrolet.com. Chevrolet. Find new roads.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
For a free insurance review, see Shelter agent Jeff Hodge or Jay Hellman, Little Rock, or Bo Beavis in Cabot.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
You know that crushing feeling when you click print on your PC and the doggone machine just won't print? Well, I fixed that. Hello, my name's Tim Stanley. I'm the new owner of Business World, a TDS IT company. We're an IT company with a long history in the imaging channel, and I fixed the printer conflict by using my Arkansas-based IT help desk. Call us at 501-374-7000 for more details on how a true IT managed services company running your business will keep all your printers and scanners up and running all the time.
Same great deals, all new location for Hoggs Meat Market in North Little Rock at 3901 JFK Boulevard. Call them today at 501-758-7700 for all their specials at Hoggs Meat Market, the steak people. You're listening to Out of Bounds with John Nabors and Joe Franklin.
Arkansas right up on the football. 2nd down and 6. Dominion stays in at running back, but KJ's going to throw. Fade down the right sideline. Broden's in the back of the end zone. He caught the ball. Well, he didn't catch it, but they throw a flag.
After further review, the result of the play is a touchdown.
Yeah.
Touchdown, Arkansas.
On 103.7 The Buzz.
Well, I tried to make it Sunday, but I got so damn depressed that I set my sights on Monday, and I got myself
Out of Bounds on Trash Talk Thursday. And folks, I'm here to tell you about Gwatney Chevrolet in Jacksonville. You asked for it and you got it. Gwatney Chevrolet's popular Trade a Phone for a Car program is back for the month of October with even bigger values. This month at Gwatney Chevrolet, your old phone is worth a valuable down payment allowance. And we're not just talking about old phone. We're talking about old phone, because a current phone right now is worth $500 down payment allowance. A flip phone is worth $550 down payment allowance. Remember those flip phones, right? Well, how about a brick phone? You remember those? That's worth $600 down payment allowance. Or maybe if you really want to go old school, a vintage bag phone, one my dad used to have, is worth $700 down payment and allowance. And I don't think he has it anymore, but if he did, I'd definitely get over to Gwatney Chevrolet and put it down. So don't go trade your phone for just another phone. When you trade that phone towards a new ride at Gwatney Chevrolet in Jacksonville, and all with no payments until after New Year's. The rest of the year, no car payments at all. They still have new 2023 Silverados at 0% with approved credit, 2.9% on 2024 Equinoxes, and they have plenty of inventory over there as well. By the way, I just went and got an oil change and service over there at Gwatney Chevrolet this morning. Got to talk to Zach and a few of the other people there, and they always do a great job of getting my vehicle taken care of and doing it in a timely manner. And I always appreciate them. And by going over there, I saw they got inventory. They got the inventory that you need. So check them out today, right there off the Gregory Street exit in Jacksonville at 1301 TP White Drive. They are Arkansas's #1 Chevy dealer for a reason. So shop them online, also at GuatneyChevrolet.com. No matter what it needs to be for the vehicle that you want, do it with Guatney Chevrolet. Again, it's Trash Talk Thursday here on Out of Bounds. And when I was over there, Joe, at Guatney, it's amazing to see some of the vehicles that they have, but also the construction that they have going out towards where they're at in Jacksonville off that exit and everything. I mean, I guess they're trying to do some with the access roads or whatnot, but I was like, I thought their construction was pretty much done over and on that interstate, or on that highway, I should say. But
they're always doing something.
I'm telling you, it's wild over there. Like it's,
but it's
maneuvering
not going to
around.
stop you from getting to Guatney.
Oh no,
which is
not
the
at all.
ultimate goal.
Not at all. Yeah, it was. In fact, it's so easy to get in and out. I was just more when I was leaving Guatney and then seeing just all the barriers and all of the fence lines and the gravel rocks and all that. I was just surprised. I haven't been out there in a minute. So actually, since my last oil change that I got done, but yeah, it was wild to see all the construction. And I don't know, I get really frustrated at construction, and I'm one of those people that I probably don't understand it. And we probably have listeners right now, they're going to start yelling at me for saying this. But I'm one of those that if I'm driving on an interstate and it goes down to one lane, they do those things and it kind of congests things a lot. But you're coming back from Dallas, for instance, got in a situation where it was one lane, traffic was miserable. I took back roads and whatnot to get past it. But the thing is like, if it's a nice day outside and there's no one working on those one lane highways, I get like, why is this the case? Why are they not working? I'm sure there's a reason.
Conversation that you've had with friends, because don't you have plenty of friends that are in that line of work?
They at least claim they are. Yeah, they do road design and whatnot, and they've given me their explanation is like, you can't expect everybody to work 7 days a week. I'm like, I'm not asking for them to work 7 days a week, but you could have some people work these 5 days and some people work these 5 days, and if it's raining outside, they can't do anything, so they don't work that day. I'm sure there's an explanation for it. It's just one of those deals where I'm like, if it's nice outside and you're not working on the roads, I feel like you're missing an opportunity to work on those roads.
That's not what they're thinking.
I know.
They have a nice day that they can go play golf.
Yeah. Well, see, that's would frustrate me if that was the case. I'm like, man, I don't want to be in traffic. Traffic stresses me out. I hate traffic. I hate when it's bumper to bumper. I hate when people rubberneck. I know it sounds like it's more of a Trigger Tuesday and Trash Talk Thursday, but just any of that stuff always just bothers me, and I can't deal with it. But they're trying to improve the roads, make it better, make it safer.
They find time to get it in, and also they have incentives in getting it done sooner, so they get to save some money in doing that, or they get bonuses for being able to get it in sooner.
I know. Well, there's a lot of roads out there that need work, but if the state of Arkansas or whoever's involved, if they could find a way to just complete 49 from Kansas City all the way down to Texarkana, I would be such a happy person, because
it's a long stretch.
It is. Well, it's all done except from Fort Smith to Texarkana. That's what's missing right there. And they'd have to build another bridge over the Arkansas River to connect them. I get it, but man, that'd make life so much easier of just connecting all the roads for where people need to go and everything. Because
maybe one day.
Yeah. Exactly. One day it will hopefully happen. I think that was the ultimate plan. And I want to say it keeps going into Louisiana too after it goes through.
It should. Yeah. If it gets to Texarkana, yeah, it should.
Yeah. Because that's one thing I love about living in Little Rock is just the interstate connections, where if it's like, if you want to go to Dallas, get on 30 and that's it. Want to go to Memphis or Nashville, just get on 40 and that's it. Like, it's just nice to have there, and then 40 the other way. If you want to go to the Oklahoma City and all that, just get on that.
Centrally located.
It's nice. It's nice. Almost take it for granted sometimes too. All right. Well, we just got a couple minutes here, so we have to wait on your Razor Hog update. But from the Southern Structural Solutions text line, Earl says they are putting 3 lanes each way through Jacksonville. Yes, yeah, that's what I assumed what was going on, but I didn't want to say something and then be completely wrong about it, because that would have been bad. I would have been like, yeah, they're over there putting in a new access road, and ends up not being the case at all.
How about Left and Larry says, I'm just going to wait until to drive one of them flying cars.
Man, weren't we supposed to have flying cars by this point in time? Like, wasn't that what we were told?
Yeah, that's what was said.
Yeah. And then what Back to the Future Part 2 was all about, showing everybody having a flying car. And that was in 2015. Isn't it funny, like our expectations of what we think the future will be like and technology wise? And odds are it's probably wrong. Because if I look at like 30 years from now, which would be 2053 or whatever, if I'm doing my math, it's like I feel like there's probably going to be so many other things and crazy stuff, like everything's inside of our head and the AI technology, where you don't even need phones anymore. You can just talk to somebody inside your head. But that's probably not even going to be happening in 30 years. It's probably something else. I don't know.
Yeah, it's continuing to change. So we never know what the newest thing is going to be until it's right upon us.
Mhm.
And then once one thing hits, it seems like there are several that come right after that.
Yep. And just opens the floodgates.
Yeah.
Because even like, streaming stuff, like that was never really a major thought in my mind where I would just be like, oh, I can click a button and I can watch any movie. But, just the way that it's kind of developed and evolved, that's the direction it was going, which I should have done it because it's like the way you listen to music, you downloaded it. It's kind of the same way. Now it's just streaming it.
Oh, at some point it's going to be, and we've seen this in movies where it's going to be more like a VR experience with the movies. Like they're going to be surrounding you within the space that you're watching.
That's going to be problematic and weird and crazy, but I'll probably enjoy it and probably think it's pretty cool. So we got to take a top of the hour update. When we come back, though, Bobby Regan, Barstool Sports, going to join us, talk a little basketball with him, and we'll keep him moving on the Trash Talk Thursday here on Out of Bounds. So stay with us.
We're back with Wild Bill at Motorsports Authority. Great selection here on the lot, but what about my trade-in, Wild Bill?
We'll trade for just about anything as long as you don't have to feed it. We'll put top dollar in that trade. I'm getting country fried crazy during this sale right now, and I'll tell you what, folks, it's a lot of fun to do business with us. So if you're wanting top dollar for your trade, you need to come see us.
You can check out the complete selection online at msastore.com. Better yet, come see us in Russellville on East Main and Hot Springs on Central. You better get down here to Motorsports Authority.
Touchdown!
Arkansas Brewskis is excited about their second location, and it's time to add to the team. Brewskis North is hiring servers, bartenders, cooks, and managers. To apply, drop by our downtown location and fill out an application. If you want to work in a fun, professional environment, this is for you. Brewskis North is hiring servers, bartenders, cooks, and managers. Apply in person at Brewskis Downtown. For more info, check us out online at brewskispubandgrub.com. Brewskis, your home for lunch, happy hour, and late night.
Southern Bank presents Family Feud on 103.7 The Buzz. Tune in to Morning Mayhem on Tuesday mornings for your chance to play with Justin Moore, David, and Roger. Family Feud on Morning Mayhem brought to you by Southern Bank. Bankwithsouthern.com.
ESPN and The Buzz gives you the complete sports and entertainment package.
I love that game.
103.7 The Buzz, KABZ Little Rock. Buzz News with Channel 7's Ryan Houston.
A former principal and softball coach at Augusta High is behind bars facing allegations of inappropriate conduct with a female student. Arkansas State Police arrested 33-year-old Jacob Schaefer Tuesday on 2 felony charges of second-degree sexual assault and sexual indecency with a child. The Woodruff County prosecutor opened an investigation of Schaefer in July after he was fired from the district. Schaefer is being held in the Woodruff County Jail. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office is asking for help in finding a level 1 sex offender who they claim failed to comply with registration requirements. Deputies say they're looking for 43-year-old Rodney Mallory for failing to meet those requirements. If you know where he is, call the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office. For more news and weather, download the free KTV News and Weather apps from the Channel 7 Newsroom. I'm Ryan Houston.
This is Pat Bradley, and listen for me weekly on Morning Mayhem presented by Bradford Marine and ATV with 6 statewide locations. It's riding season. Visit Bradford Marine and ATV and check out the Can-Am Riker motorcycle. Stop by today for the best in-store inventory and discount prices.
View all the inventory online at bradfordmarine.com.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with Channel 7's Melinda Mayo.
Partly cloudy with a high around 78 this afternoon, so not quite as warm. And tonight slowed down to 62. Back up to 83 on Friday ahead of a cold front tomorrow with just a small rain chance, but a nice cool down for the weekend. From the Channel 7 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Melinda Mayo.
Today's special at the Riverfront Steakhouse in the Wyndham Hotel. Dinner for two for $60. Split a 10-ounce filet, fried shrimp, and our famous salad bar.
Edgar Award-winning author and Arkansas native E.Y. Craner joins the zone every Tuesday courtesy of Jackalope Cycling. Jackalope Cycling in Russellville is there with bike rentals and service, camping gear, fishing accessories, whatever gets you excited about the outdoors. E.Y. Craner Tuesday in the Zone, brought to you by Jackalope Cycling. Check them out online at jackalopecycling.com.
How important is price when buying tires? Maybe for you, it's what drives you to choose your tire store. How important is service? And what about choosing a tire store that is locally and family-owned? What if I told you that your local, family-owned Big O Tires in Conway and Cabot can offer you the most competitive pricing with the caring service that you expect from your neighbor? Right now, we have huge savings on our most popular sets of tires to keep you and your family safe on the road. Tires, service, and straight talk. Big O Tires.
Blast into a new year with the Rocket Man Show, a tribute to Elton John at Oaklawn's Event Center on January 1st, 2024. The Rocket Man Show with Russ Anderson features a night of Elton's greatest hits, incredible costumes, and fierce piano playing on January 1st at Oaklawn's Event Center. Tickets for the Rocket Man Show are available at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
O'Reilly. Get ultimate durability and extreme weather performance with Rain-X Advantage wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Purchase a pair of Rain-X Advantage wiper blades and save $10, plus get 2 times O Rewards points. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Bring smiles to all when shopping online with Dell Technologies Gift Guide. Whether it's for the artist, the entrepreneur, the student, or the streamer, you'll find the perfect gift for everyone on your list. Dell.com/gift guide makes gifting easy with a carefully curated selection of our best tech. Shop now to explore our innovative PCs like the XPS 13 laptop, powered by the latest Intel Core processors, plus this season's top accessories. Visit Dell.com/gift guide today to get a jump on your holiday gift list. That's Dell.com/gift guide.
Willie D's Rock and Roll Piano Bar open every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Cold drinks and dueling pianos. Deep Nightclub downstairs hosts karaoke on Tuesdays and DJ spin on Friday and Saturday nights. Visit WillieD'sPianoBar.com.
If you're looking to update your home decor, then go see our friends at Coffin by Design West. At Coffin by Design West, they have design specialists on staff that can help you with your decisions on any updates to your home. They have over 7,000 square feet of beautiful new home decor pieces such as sofas, dining tables, design throw pillows, lighting, and chairs that arrive daily. For those of you who like the Aromatique candles, you can find those and also gift cards. Located out west past Taylor Loop, 14900 Cantrell Road, or go to the web at coffinlumber.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Live from the Hoggs Meat Market Studios, this is Out of Bounds.
Well, our team's excited to go to Alabama. They are playing extremely well defensively, swarming to the football. Really physical group up front. Defensive ends are outstanding. Offensively, I think Milroe is leading the team exceptionally and well. They've got a couple of running backs that are really, really good. It's a huge challenge for us. Our kids are excited to go to Alabama and see what happens.
Yeah. With John Nabors.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas.
And Joe Franklin.
We won't go in the shell. We're going to go into attack mode because that's what's required.
On 103.7 The Buzz.
Girl, I can buy your Westie world with my base stuff. I know that it's good. Won't you sit it on my taste buds? I get way too bendy once you let me do the extras. Pull up on your block and break it down. We playing Tetris. AM to the PM, PM to the AM phone. Eat up your per diem, you just gotta hate them phone. If I quit your BM, I still rock Mercedes phone. If I quit this season, I still be the greatest phone. My left stroke just went viral. Right stroke put a baby in a spiral. Soprano C, we like to keep it on the high note. There's levels to it, you and I know. Tell them be humble. Sit down. Be humble.
2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Appreciate everybody listening in on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. John Nabors, Joe Franklin, broadcasting live from the Hoggs Meat Market Studios with you today. And thank you, as always, for making us a part of your afternoon. This afternoon, it's been a fun-filled show talking about everything going on in the sports world. A lot of football talk, obviously, with college football, NFL, even have Major League Baseball going on. But we also know basketball will be here before we know it, especially college basketball, Razorback basketball. We had SEC Media Days next week, so looking forward to covering that down there in Birmingham. And then we'll have some exhibition games. We'll get right into the thick of it. So it'll be here before we know it, and there's a lot of stuff that's actually going on in the basketball world, and I'm sure we'll talk about some other things too, because we got to go ahead and welcome in Bobby Regan of Barstool Sports, friend of the show, always comes on, and always great to talk a little basketball with us, no matter what time of year it is. And Bobby, as always, man, appreciate you joining us. How you doing this afternoon?
Good, man. How are you?
Well, we're doing great. We're excited about all the football going on, but basketball season being upon us is pretty exciting as well. So just asking you during the time, which I know you love sports in general, but you are the basketball guy. When basketball is not in full season, what do you do? Is it something you just pay attention to all the off-season stuff going on with basketball, or do you turn your attention to some other sports?
I mean, it's a little bit of everything, right? Like, yeah, basketball is my first love, so I try to unplug from basketball, but the way things are these days, it's almost impossible. But, like, I'm a diehard Orioles fan. My sons are named after them, so baseball for the sixth time in my 36 years of life got me until October, and then playoff baseball is just the worst. And obviously, like, I'm a diehard Giants fan, so I quit on the NFL already, because what's the point when Daniel Jones is your quarterback? This is just what we get for taking a guy from Duke. Like, the lesson is always is avoid people from Duke.
So going more into that, then NBA team, do you have one, or you just follow?
I'm a Knicks fan. I'm New York everything.
Okay, all right, there it is.
My old man told me, when we moved from Jersey when I was young, my old man told me, don't be a Mets fan like him. I had no choices with the Giants and Knicks. Those were, I mean, my grandfather buried in the Giants casket. That was kind of you're not allowed to be anything besides a Giants fan in my family. But I grew up to the Orioles, and it was the 90s. So it's like I wanted sideburns like Brady Anderson.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because you don't hear a lot of Orioles fans, at least around here in the state of Arkansas, but they had a nice little run there. I mean, you mentioned it being the sixth time in your lifespan, but the future looks bright. Yeah, six. It looks bright for your future.
I don't want to hear about the future. Like, watching the Thunder, like, it's this. I almost wrote a blog about it, and I just couldn't come up with it. Talking about the future in sports, I know, like, there is a bright future, right? And it's something that fans can kind of point to. There ain't no guarantees in sports. I mean, the Thunder were supposed to be the dynasty. They made the finals once. And then you lose Durant, Harden, and Westbrook, and Ibaka. So it's like, things like that are always just burned into my head, where it's like, no, we hear, how many times have we heard, like, this team's primed for the future? They're the next team up. That never happens.
Well, let's look at the Eastern Conference in the NBA, where the Knicks are. The Celtics are the team that's expected to win that division. Sixers have been good in years past, but Celtics, they're expected to be one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. So what do you think of that division, Eastern Conference as a whole, when you look at the Milwaukee Bucks, who just acquired Dame Lillard, and they have high expectations.
Yeah, I think the East is kind of weird, right? Because everyone agrees it's the Bucks and Celtics going into the year as the top two. I don't think anyone's like arguing that fact. But then, like, that next group of teams, I mean, the Heat just made a run as an 8th seed, and I know they lose Strauss and Vince, but like, so Jimmy Butler and Bam, like, that's not a bad trio to build around. It's like, the Heat, the Knicks, the Cavs. There's like this just group of teams where it's like someone's gonna. It's not going to be the Bucks and Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. It never turns out that way, where you sit there and go, these are the two best teams. Everyone agrees these are the two best teams. They're going to play for the right to play in the finals. One of those teams are going to beat someone, and I think it's more on the Celtics, just because, I mean, their only bigs are Kristaps and Al Horford. Do you trust those two to, one, be healthy or somehow get younger when May rolls around? Because I really don't. And maybe it's just me hating Kristaps Porzingis as a Knicks fan. I refuse to believe he can be pivotal when the moment's bright. Like, that dude shrinks in the moment.
Well, I also want to talk to you about some of the stuff with college basketball. I know you had some thoughts on it, and I was laughing so hard yesterday when the news broke, which was so under the radar, about Kansas. And after all that FBI and the investigation from the NCAA and all these level 1 violations, and now it just mounted, and it was just crazy, and it was just insane how much was going on. And then nothing. Once again, nothing. No crazy punishments, no awful things. And we're talking about the same deal with the NCAA, basically gave a postseason ban to Oklahoma State for a year because of that deal. Like, I shouldn't be surprised, but it's still ridiculous that out of all that nonsense and pomp and circumstance, nothing happened.
I mean, what a waste of time, right? The FBI's up there saying, we have your playbook. And it's like, okay, like, do you have the playbook for the last 100 years of college basketball? Because guess what? Something along these lines has been going on. And then now, like, I forget who said it, but at least today, the entire world can stop pretending to care about college kids getting paid now that the penalties are handed out. And it's hilarious that they're making take down a Final Four banner as if we didn't see the game happen. Like, oh, yeah, like, it's the dumbest thing that college sports does is take down a banner and vacate wins. It's like, no, those games happened. And, like, no offense, but Reggie Bush is a good example. Everyone's always like, well, Reggie Bush got paid. It's like, okay, but he still had to go out and perform. And it's like, USC was also loaded. They could probably still would have won a title without Reggie Bush because you had Lendale White there. But it's like, what happens off the court has no impact on the court, right? Like, how many times do we hear people sit there and be like, well, this team bought recruits, and it's like, okay, how many times did they win the title? It's really just UCLA when John Wooden was the dirtiest coach in America, and it's just like, I don't care, and I'm glad. Like, part of me is glad that these schools outside of Oklahoma State didn't get hit with ridiculous penalties, because it's just so dumb when you think about what. And here's the other thing: like, the whole thing was coaches getting arrested, which is the dumbest thing in this all, for pushing players to sign with people after they leave college. It wasn't a pay for play. Like, Sylvia D'Souza was ineligible because of that, but he also got $200 in a month. Like, if you think Sylvia D'Souza is the only person in the world who got $200 to play college basketball, you're senile. Like, you should not be allowed to walk this earth if you think that's true.
Bobby, you talk about it being a waste of time. Why did it take so long for them to come to this conclusion where they don't do much there?
Could be the NCAA. I mean, that's how much time you got for that one, because you go with the NCAA, then you have the IARP, you have all the appeals, which Kansas played it right. You appeal everything, and they get hit with a banner coming down. You appeal everything. You never, and actually North Carolina played the most right when they had their state classes going on and just kept appealing, and then nothing ever happened about it. All that's what you're going to do, just appeal everything, because the NCAA gets lost in everything. And then you had the IRAP, which was supposed to be this independent organization, and it's just a mess, and there's no rhyme or reason. And I'm glad Oklahoma State came out kind of in support of Kansas, but also putting the middle finger up to the NCAA, like, hey, remember how you gave us a 1-year ban? Yeah. How about everyone else here? Because this is ridiculous.
Yeah, because I was thinking about them. Wasn't it also SMU and Larry Brown was there that they got a year suspension or a postseason ban?
Yeah, they got hit with something. The postseason ban, and like Arizona gave themselves the ban when they stunk 1 year. The whole thing's just, it's crazy. It's like we now live in a world where Utah can give their entire team brand new trucks, and I know it's leased and whatever, but they got brand new trucks, and that's Utah, right? So it's like, and we joke about it, we laugh about it because it's just like, who cares? Who cares if these kids are able to get money? Like, I don't want to hear, oh, there's going to be a gap from the elite to the non-elite. There's always been a gap. Like, what do you want here? And if anything, it's balancing it out. Like, look at last year's tournament. It mayhem every single year. You can sit there and try to stack your roster with top recruits, top transfers. You're still talking about a season that ends in a 1-game event where you win in advance or you lose and you go home. And all it takes is one bad shooting day. How many times does the best team win the NCAA tournament? It ain't that often.
Yeah, because we've talked about the college football landscape and just how much of an impact it has with NIL, and it's impacted everybody. But just from what you've seen in college basketball with NIL and it being there, has it impacted it the way you thought it would, or has it changed it as much as you thought it would, or is it kind of just the same where still the big schools are getting the big time players and it still seems to be the same group that's having the most success?
Yeah, John, I'm going to give you a little secret here. The best recruits are still going to Kansas, Kentucky, Duke, and North Carolina. Like, that hasn't changed anything. So it's been the exact same outside of, the bigger thing has been transfer portal, which, yes, you can kind of recall in there. And then conference realignment. Like the fact that a school like FAU can make a run and now they're in the American, which is a little step up from where they were. The whole NIL thing, it's like, it's better. It's better for the sport. Think about how many guys have stayed in school as like a fringe second-round pick where they would go a lot of the time beforehand and be like, all right, I'm just going to go overseas and make my money because I can make 6 figures and hope that 1 year in Europe translates into an NBA deal or the G League will translate into an NBA deal, where they sit there and go, wait a minute, I can make the same amount of money, get to be a god on campus, get to play college basketball, which still matters. Oh, and maybe I can like bump my stock up to be a early second-round pick or a late first-round pick and get that guaranteed money or whatever. Or I just get to play college basketball and get paid. Like, there's no downside in NIL and kids being able to capitalize off of this. It's better for the sport. Everyone complains about one and done. There are more people staying in college basketball. I mean, Armando Bacot's still in college basketball, but that have happened beforehand. I tend to think it's probably more likely he's gone by now.
You have your top 5 rankings for college basketball ready to go?
I'll be honest, man. I have no idea what to expect this year. I do think Kansas is 1. I think you can make a case for Marquette at 2. I don't think that's crazy by any means. I don't know. After that, it's like, do you put Purdue there? Like, do you trust Purdue after what you saw? Do you keep? I don't know. Like, it's so up in the air, and I think it's great. Like, do you put Duke there? Do you think they're going to be healthy all year? I know they're stacked with talent. Do you put Miami there? So it's like, to me, it's like Kansas is for sure number 1, and then it's just like throw a dart to the next 18 teams, which should be a good season. If I'm sitting here and usually it's like, okay, the top 5 is going to be Kansas. You got Duke, you got Kentucky, you got probably Villanova, and I don't know, Arizona. Where it's like, I really don't know what to expect this year.
Give a little more insight on Marquette then, because they are projected to be a top 5 team, but what is it about Marquette that makes them so good?
So they return everybody, right? Like, and I think they return like 96% of their production. Big East Player of the Year, Tyler Kolek is back. They were they were really good. They won the Big East regular season and the Big East tournament. They were 2 seeds. And I know everyone kind of wants to overlook them because they didn't make a run the previous year, and people rely on the tournament for, well, you do that. And I think people are hesitant with Shaka teams that they'll just never win in March because he didn't go to Texas and obviously isn't done it yet at Marquette, where they're easy to forget, right? Like, I mean, half the people probably don't even know Marquette's in Wisconsin. You probably you're like, oh, like that. I don't know. They're in the Big East somewhere. They're probably in the Northeast. Like, oh, wait, they share a state with Wisconsin. But it's like, I don't know. They're easy to forget about. And the Big East. You have UConn, you have Nova, you have these national title teams that you kind of overlook the Marquettes of the world. They're just really good. They're just really good. That's the only way I can describe it. They're kind of like the quintessential college team where, like, yeah, they might have a couple guys go pro. They have this core that's now going to be together for a couple years. And they were good. Like, I try not to put as much stock into what happened in the tournament as, I guess, like the AP poll or people like that. But I think if they made a run to the Elite Eight, everyone would just no-brainer put them top three.
You mentioned Texas also, and Max Asmus. Who knew that he was still in school, but he actually is playing for Texas now.
Yeah, I think it's awesome that, I know, like, I do love the mid-majors, but I think it's awesome that a guy like Max Asmus can go to a school like Texas and be on national TV all the time. And everyone knows his name, right? We remember him from the Oral Roberts run. We remember him for being this elite scorer. Well, now he gets to do it in the best conference in America. And gets to do it on a team that's going to be, again, probably a top 5 team in the country. And I love that he's at Texas, at least for even if it's for 1 year, we get to see him on the big stage. And that's why I think the transfer portal is awesome.
So who would you say of all these teams that you mentioned, and you talk about how tough it is to go with the top 5 or whatever, but which of the teams have the most pressure to perform and have a big year? Because I even make the argument, maybe it's your Kentucky Wildcats, but who else is maybe in the mix as far as having so much pressure on them to perform?
I think obviously Kentucky's for sure an answer. I think Duke and Carolina are 2 popular answers for that because of, Shire was fine, but they were kind of just a decent team next year. Last year they really weren't. Duke, Carolina, you make the run to the finals as an 8 seed, then you were awful a year ago, and you bring back Baycott still. Hubert Davis he just needs to have a good regular season, right? If they're a top 3 seed and make a Sweet 16, it's like, okay, we can kind of we see it a little bit more now. I don't know if there's really pressure. Part of me wants to say like a Florida Atlantic, but can you really have pressure there?
Who's going to challenge Kentucky in the SEC then? You got a number of teams with Arkansas, Tennessee, Texas A&M. How do you see that shaking out?
Obviously Arkansas. I mean, at this point, you just kind of have to blindly say Arkansas, Alabama are 2 teams that are going to be there. Tennessee is another one of those teams. And they're, I think projected top 10 in most sites. But again, they bring back a bunch of guys. They bring in the kid from Northern Colorado, Dalton Connect, I think is how you pronounce his last name, next how we do it. Again, a team that's always good in the regular season. I mean, that's Tennessee to a T. So, I think it's the normal names. A&M's another team. A&M kind of maybe a little bit slept on. They were good last year. Obviously, they lost Penn State, but again, I think Wade Taylor's really, really good. He's back there, and I think they bring back all 5 starters.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating to me that Arkansas, they're playing Purdue in an exhibition game in Bud Walton, which I know it's probably pretty common, maybe more so for other teams, but to my knowledge, this is the biggest exhibition game I think Arkansas's ever had in Bud Walton Arena, which is kind of cool because it seems like, it doesn't count towards anything, but maybe gives you a good measuring stick of where your team is actually at.
Yeah, I wish college teams were able to do this more, right? Like, there's been some examples where, whether it's like a charity relief game where you get like Illinois versus Missouri or something like that. Why not? Why? Every other sport has preseason games. Instead of these exhibitions against NAIA or Division III, Division II schools, why can't we see a like you said, an Arkansas, Purdue, or, get these big matchups that aren't scheduled for the regular season and do it twice or do it even once. Let one team play another power team and sit there and go, okay, we're going to play this like a real game. Let's see where we're at and go, okay, these are our strengths, these are our weaknesses going into the season.
Well, Bobby, before I let you get out of here, I know, again, we talk basketball, but you're a Kentucky guy. What'd you make of Mark Stoops' comments after the Georgia game saying, hey, they bought all their players and we need some help, man. You want to donate, you want to complain, then give us some money and we can make this work.
To me, he was right. He was right in saying that. Like, fans do have the opportunity to help out their program. It was just the wrong time to say it right after the Georgia game where, we got a buzz kick, but they didn't look ready, right? Like, Cleary missed a bunch of passes. They weren't. Georgia comes down, scores right away. They weren't really ready for that game. So it is a bad look to say it right after that game. He's right. Like, no one's saying that the Kentuckys of the world are going to compete with Georgia and Alabama, but Kentucky's football is at an all-time high in terms of recruiting and everything like that. And this is not even Kentucky. Every fan base across the nation has a collective or somewhere that fans can, whether it's $1 to thousands of dollars, you can donate, and that money helps recruiting. So he is right, but it's just it was just bad timing.
Yeah, I think that's what most people gathered from it, but I'm with you. I agree with them, and it's something I think every school, hey, you could always do better in your NIL. And you can never have too much money when it comes to NIL and helping out the cause.
No, you can't. You really can't.
Yeah, so it works out for them. But, hey, Bobby, as always, man, we appreciate it. Looking forward to basketball season. I know you are as well, and we'll definitely be catching up with you as the season goes on.
All right, guys, have a good one.
I appreciate it. Again, that was Bobby Regan of Barstool Sports joining us here on Out of Bounds. Talking a little basketball and everything with him, but we got to take a break. When we come back, we'll have your Razor Hog update presented by True Service and a lot more. So stay with us on Out of Bounds.
Arkansas State fans, listen up. The Red Wolves' home in Central Arkansas is 106.7 Buzz 2. Listen every week for Sunbelt Conference action with the Red Wolves, only on 106.7 Buzz 2.
This is Sports Center.
100-win teams in the Major League Baseball playoffs have not fared too well as the Diamondbacks finished off the Dodgers, beating them 4-2 last night. Arizona became the first team to ever hit 4 home runs in one inning in postseason history as 4 Diamondbacks went deep off of Lance Lynn in the third. The last time Arizona went to the NLCS was 2007. The Dodgers and the Orioles are both 100-win teams and both were swept. The Atlanta Braves are the only other 100-win team in the majors, and they find themselves in danger of elimination as they fell to the Phillies 10-2 last night. They trailed 2-1 in the series. Philadelphia can punch their ticket to the NLCS with a win tonight. First pitch is set for 7:07 on TBS. And the ALCS is set. It'll be a battle for Texas between the Astros and the Rangers. Game 1 will be on Sunday. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
Razorback legend Darren McFadden joins Morning Mayhem on 103.7 The Buzz each week this football season to give his insights on what's happening in the world of football. DMAC is brought to you by Oak Lawn Sports and Rideout Lumber.
Heartland Rehabilitation and Care Center in Benton proudly offers compassionate and loving care to our veterans, meeting the unique needs of every veteran who calls Heartland home. Visit heartlandrehabcenter.com.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Shelter agents Monica Reiners or Brian Kress in North Little Rock or Jamie Marsh in Little Rock.
The end of the year is near, and Gwatney is pulling out all the stops to remain Pulaski County's #1 Buick GMC dealer. Big pre-owned inventory and even bigger discounts on new Buicks and GMCs, even with manufacturer price increases. Gwatney Buick GMC next to Sam's in North Little Rock is selling new 2024 models at 2023 prices. You've seen the news. The time to trade is now, before the current auto industry climate skyrockets used prices and all new inventory is depleted. Don't wait. call Gwatney 501-945-4444. It's the end of the year blowout only at Gwatney Buick GMC in North Little Rock. Interest rates as low as 0.9%. And get new and pre-owned vehicles with no payments for the rest of the year. Stop by Gwatney Buick GMC and register to win a new Hummer. 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. 501-945-4444. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. All offers with approved credit.
This is Pat Bradley for Whit Davis Lumber Plus. Whit Davis Lumber Company is your blueprint for success. Whether you're a professional contractor or just need a hand being handy, Whit Davis is your partner for getting the job done right. From quality materials to tools for projects inside and out, they understand how important quality is when it comes to your home. So when you're in need of a lumberyard or hardware store, think of my friends over at Whit Davis. You can find them in Jacksonville, Cabot, Sherwood, and Greenbrier, or online at whitdavis.com.
At Stevens, our philosophy is to invest every dollar as if it were our own, to seize opportunity, to anticipate rather than react, to deliver constant focus in an ever-changing world, and to pursue the objectives of our clients in order to help them reach their financial goals. A proven history of helping companies and individuals. Stevens, member NYSE SIPC.
Don't miss the First Security fifth quarter postgame show with Randy Rainwater, Marcus Elliott, and Trey Schapp after each Razorback football game. Only on 103.7 The Buzz. Brought to you in part by Ortho Arkansas and Rainwater Holton Sexton.
I'm Eagle here from Thursday Night Football on Westwood One. Week 6 of the NFL season kicks off with prime-time AFC West action from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. The Chiefs have won 4 straight and hope to make it 5 against a struggling Denver Broncos team with Russell Wilson under center. Join me and Devin McCourty for the call on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on 103.7 The Buzz.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Must be present in a state where lawful to wager, must be 21 plus and present in select states. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700 or visit KSGamblingHelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana, visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia, or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelpma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
Fire up the grill this summer with the highest quality of meats from Hoggs Meat Market and their new location off JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock. Hoggs Meat Market, the steak people. You're listening to Out of Bounds with John Nabors and Joe Franklin.
Must dig my dick in the mashed potatoes. Go Hogs.
On 103.7 The Buzz.
Wait a minute, this love started off so tender, so sweet. But now she got me
smoking out the window. Must have spent 45,000 up in Tiffany's.
It's Out of Bounds. We've been talking a lot about everything happening in the sports world. Just got done talking some basketball with Bobby Regan in the previous segment. And I got to tell you, with the Bet Saracen app, if you're already in the mood for basketball, they already have you covered, especially when it comes to college basketball. If you go on Bet Saracen's app right now, you can have future bets put down on so many different things. Like, for instance, the Southeastern Conference winner of the regular season, and maybe you think the Razorbacks are going to take care of business. Well, you can bet on that at plus 400, which is actually the third best odds, behind Kentucky at plus 300 and Tennessee at plus 325. Maybe you want to take it a step further. Maybe you want to think that Arkansas makes the Final Four, right? Maybe they take it to that next level and making the Final Four. Well, you can bet on that at plus 650 for Arkansas to make the Final Four. Nah, let's not even do that. Let's just worry about winning it all. Winning the national championship for the Arkansas Razorbacks, plus 2,000 at Bet Saracen right now. You can bet on also, with college basketball, who's going to win the John R. Wooden Award. And you can bet on other conferences too. You can do the baseball games tonight and all weekend for Major League Baseball. You still got football, of course, tonight. We know there's an NFL game going down between the Chiefs and the Broncos. Chiefs are favored by 10.5 points. You can bet on that. You can do parlays. You can do it all. And don't forget, of course, with the Double R prop specials, only through Bet Saracen for Arkansas and Alabama football. So no matter what it is, when it comes to all things sports betting here in the state of Arkansas, there's only one app that you need to take care of and download right now. It's Bet Saracen. Make some money. Enjoy these games. You can download them on the Apple Store. You can also download them on your Android phone. You can visit their website at betsaracen.com and bet that way. No matter what it is, sports betting, one place, Bet Saracen. Download the app today. Again, it's a Trash Talk Thursday here on Out of Bounds, and having some fun when we'll have 3 and Out here in a bit. And also, we'll get to your Razor Hog update presented by True Service here in just a little bit too, because there's a few of the quote or a few quotes that we want to play from not only Sam Pittman in the SEC teleconference, but also talk about the things that Nick Saban had to say too. But since it's a Trash Talk Thursday, I thought it was pretty funny that I saw a bold strategy here by anyone who likes to talk some trash, but I guess this one comes from DK Metcalf, who wanted to talk some trash towards Jamar Chase. I don't really, understand what's going on with there, but he says, I think Spoon, talking about Devin Witherspoon, will get the best of him, is what he said about Jamar Chase. And yeah, I don't know. I love the trash talk when you get up into it, but I don't know. You're poking a bear, I feel like, with Jamar Chase and how good he had last week, but also how good he continues to be.
Yeah, he's starting to hit the stride, and Joe Burrow is somebody that is getting back into form, and that's what it was, that Joe Burrow wasn't able to be the quarterback that he's been and maybe push off that leg the same way, or even when the receivers are covered, take off. He wasn't a threat to run because of dealing with having that calf issue, but now they've seen kind of gotten some things worked out, and as Jamar Chase said, he's always open, so he is somebody that's looking to make a statement.
Well, if you're wondering if Jamar Chase has heard these comments or has have a response or anything, we may not know if he responds in a certain way, but he did hear about him because he already retweeted him on social media. That exact video and that exact clip of DK Metcalf saying that. So if you have Jamar Chase in your fantasy, you may want to make sure that he's one of your starters this week, because he might be blowing up for a big game. Whenever, I don't know, I get trash talk, but why do you poke bears, man? Like those things that, especially DK Metcalf, it's not like he can do anything about it either. He's talking trash for someone else. It's like,
yeah, the only thing he can do is his part on the offensive side, and hopefully that the defense will be able to try to contain Jamar Chase, but it's going to be a tough task.
I just laugh because I'm like, what if Witherspoon doesn't do it? And then people are going to come out DK be like, hey, what'd you say? Well, don't ask me. He didn't play well enough. That's an interesting thing whenever we have a DB going out against a wide receiver back and forth. But when it's another wide receiver talking trash for his own DB that he's not even going to go up against, it's like, man, he's setting himself up for something he didn't even say. But maybe that's all part of it and some fun. But again, Trash Talk Thursday feels like it's pretty fitting for what we've been discussing today. But there's a few things also with Razorback football taking on A&M, Alabama. I can speak right. And Sam Pittman had his SEC teleconference as well as Nick Saban. So let's hear from them as part of your Razor Hog update presented by True Service.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
Hogs by 90! This is your Razor Hog update on Out of Bounds, presented by True Service Community Federal Credit Union, where they offer new mortgage loans, refinancing, auto loans, and small business loans. Online at trueservice.net.
All right, so for your Razor Hog updates, Sam Pittman knows Dan Enos used to work for Nick Saban, and it was a little bit of an interesting exit by Dan Enos whenever he left the Alabama Crimson Tide. So here's what Pittman had to say about Enos going up against Nick Saban.
Well, I don't think there would necessarily be an advantage because of the length of time, as you stated, but also, we've been playing Alabama for a long time. I've been in the league for a long time as well. And it's not schematics that necessarily that you're aware of with Alabama. It's the players that are doing it and how well they're coached. So I don't know that there would be an advantage there. I'm sure Dan's excited to go back over there and see some of his old friends and compete against them.
Also, Sam Pittman was asked about the strategy on fourth downs, which Arkansas has actually converted some, but we know the back and forth dealings of fourth and short and how they handle it. Here's what he had to say about his strategies.
Well, I think we've gone for it on fourth down 9 times now, and we've made it 6. The 3 that we haven't is all been 4th and 1s, and so obviously I'd like to have every one of them back. So that has changed some of it depending on where you're at on the field and all that kind of stuff. Chasing the points, I think each situation is different. In other words, at that point, we had momentum. We had all those things. We get the 2 point. Could have really got us within 3, those things. If we miss it, is there a possibility of losing some of that momentum? Absolutely. And to be honest with you, I can remember vividly, we talked about it. I saw where Brian Kelly, they did not chase the points early until the 4th quarter. And that's kind of the philosophy that you wait to chase that until you get in the 4th quarter. We were late in that 3rd quarter, if I recall right, and we might have went too fast at that point. And it may have cost us some momentum, I don't know. But at the time, we thought the risk versus the reward, we just felt like if we could make it, we'd get within 3, and the place was rocking at that time, and maybe get even more momentum.
Also, Nick Saban was asked about the Enos angle and see if it was as frosty as what it was reported back when he left.
Yeah, he's doing great. I think he's a really good coach. He did a great job for us when he was here. I can't remember those days back when he was a scout team quarterback, but if he says I got on him, that wouldn't surprise me. But anyway, he's a really good coach and doing a really good job with their team. I think he's changed quite a bit from when he was a coordinator before he was on our staff. And I think being with Mike Loxley, who was the coordinator here when Dan was here, and then having coached for, Mike, I think he has changed, quite a bit, but in a very good way. I think they play well and they take advantage of the players that they have and present a lot of issues and problems for you defensively.
Don't get too excited, Coach Saban. And also, he had this to say about Arkansas's running game and the struggles they've had.
They've been able to run the ball effectively.
They have not.
I don't see them. They're a team that's committed to, running the ball. They run it. They've got good play action passes. They got RPOs that go with it that, they've made plays with. So the quarterback run game is really challenging. So, they're doing a lot of good things on offense. I can't comment on, I still think that they're a good running football team. So, never really looked at the statistics from last year to this year or any individual, but I do think that they're very capable of running the ball effectively based on their scheme and how they tie it together with play action passes and RPOs.
No, I hope you actually see it at some point in time, Coach Saban, because everybody else has been waiting here in Arkansas to see this effective running game that you speak of from Arkansas. But that's your Razor Hog update presented by True Service. We will take our final break. When we come back, get to 3 and out, close up shop, get you ready for Drive Time Sports. It's all next here on Out of Bounds.
At Edwards Food Giant, they know your family is important, and they also know that your time and convenience is as well. So why not take advantage of their heat and eat items in their deli department? Those famous Edwards Food Giant signature dishes with many of the same entrees and recipes that are served daily in the hot bar, all ready to take home and serve to your family tonight. And it can all be found at your favorite Central Arkansas Edwards Food Giant deli. This week's special is Edwards Signature Meatloaf for only $7.49 per pound, with twice baked potatoes for just $4.99 per pound.
Hi, I'm Hunter Bell from Bell Chevrolet. Football season in Arkansas is one of my favorite times of the year. And I think we can all agree that game days are better with tailgating. Fourth quarters are better with game-winning field goals. And the best played games are better with teamwork. And just like on the field, Bell Chevrolet is better because of our people and their dedication to our customers. Shop Bell Chevrolet and bellchevrolet.com today. Find new roads.
This is the Pigskin Preacher, bringing you the word. Double B's is a growing Arkansas company with 34 locations in our state. Small local businesses are the largest employers nationally and create 2 out of every 3 new jobs. Buying locally at Double B's means creating more opportunities for local residents to work in our communities. When dollars are spent locally, they are respent locally, paying more salaries and building the local tax base. You want to keep Arkansas thriving and unique? Support an Arkansas-owned business like Double B's, which helps define our community's self-image and creates Arkansas pride for Arkansans. Double B's is of Arkansas and for Arkansas. Double B's. It's where you gas it, grab it, and go. That's Double B's.
Roger Scott, I'm going to talk to you about Sigma Supply Packaging Products and how they think outside the box. Sigma Supply, they're problem solvers. Now, they've been helping business owners for years with their waste audit analysis program. They're going to come in, they're going to analyze your packaging and shipping and see if automation is what you need to cut costs. Call or text sales manager David Breitenberg with Sigma Supply, and you can schedule your waste audit analysis. Here's the number, 501-617-4600. Sigma Supply Packaging Products. If you're not using Sigma Supply, you got low-grade product, man.
Listen to The Zone every Tuesday for Clint Kong, brought to you by Farm Brothers Flying Service. For the past decade, Farm Brothers Flying Service has been providing crop dusting services to the farmers in Southeast Arkansas, and they can help you too. Call 870-263-1300.
It's Kayak Chaos at Arts Marine. Pick your perfect kayak from their large inventory and start exploring the natural state. Right now, get 20% off feel-free kayaks. We also slash prices on Moken 10 and Lure 10 kayaks. Your granddaddy trusted Arts Marine, so should you.
Yep, I'm looking at the pages right now.
Thomas's translation company just lost its only 2 Spanish speakers. Without the right replacements, he'll be in problemas.
Yeah, we'll have those ready. I'm worried about tonight's going to be a late one.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The pandemic is over, but COVID-19 is here to stay. In fact, it's still among the top 5 leading causes of death in the U.S., just after heart disease and cancer. So this fall, stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna.
Make your tailgate the party of the parking lot by getting the best meats in all of Arkansas at Hoggs Meat Market, the steak people.
Kane is in the building.
Their time is done. It's over.
Over? Did you say over?
Nonsense. I've not yet begun to defile myself.
Call Kenny Loggins because you're in the danger zone. I play real sports. I'm trying to be the best at exercising.
It's time for 3 and Out. It's been 3 hours, and we are...
Boom. Out of here.
All right, it is time for 3 and Out. A few headlines, a few storylines, a few things that we got to dive into. This was something I thought was pretty fascinating, where you have the Kelsey boys on their podcast, and I'll always have some interesting things to say. Don't worry, it's not about Taylor Swift. But Jason Kelsey, he predicted that defenses are going to start faking injuries, dealing with the tush push, if you want to call it that. Here's what he had to say.
Here to stay for 2023. I know that 2 Giants did get hurt last week. I will say, I've been watching quarterback sneaks for a while. Outside of Patrick Mahomes, like injuring his kneecap, there really haven't been that many injuries on this play.
Yeah.
But if there's a way that this play is going to be outlawed, this is how it's going to be.
This is it, yeah.
Yeah. And
100%.
what I'm worried about is if I'm a defensive coach, any of these that I can like have a guy like go up limp on because I'm planning ahead for next year to try and stop offenses. I'm telling you, I swear, I guarantee guys are going to start faking injuries. It's going to start off minor injuries at first, but they're already thinking about how can we get this outlawed for next season? Because that's all they're doing. They're just complaining. And now guys are going to start faking injuries, just like they fake injuries in situations to stop you from going bolt. And it's nonsense. It's not a play that has been historically a higher injury chance of prevalence.
Well, we don't want to get you riled up.
So they were giving some thoughts on it, and I think what Jason Kelsey has to say, I think there's some merit that could get to that point, but that's what he's concerned about as far as getting it outlawed, is just having people start faking injuries, which will get it expedited to being an outlawed play.
So we know that people complain about 11 a.m. kickoffs on Saturday. Coach Prime is not a fan of later kickoffs, the 8 p.m. kickoffs. So Colorado is going to host Stanford on Friday, and it's an 8 p.m. kickoff. They've already played at 8 p.m. this year against Colorado State, but he says, who makes these 8 o'clock games? Dumbest thing ever. Stupidest thing ever invented in life. Who wants to stay up until 8 o'clock for a darn game? What about the East Coast? Do they even care about ratings? Is anyone watching it? What we're supposed to do, what are we supposed to do with kids until 8 o'clock? What are we supposed to do in the hotel? And then he went on to say, who's playing on Friday? Like, he's complaining about not only the kickoff time, but playing on Friday. He says, thank God we're going to be in a different conference this year. We won't be having to deal with this in this conference. And then when asked about Stanford, who's 1-4, he says, they have fight in them. They won't give up. I love what they're putting on the field. So that goes into coaches talking up the opponent. And even if the opponent doesn't have a good record, they've been struggling on the field, they're still going to talk them up in a good way.
Welcome to college football, Coach Prime. The times that nobody really wants and nobody wants to be part of, but the television markets and the television broadcasting companies dictate it all. So I feel you, Coach Prime. Also, in some pretty cool news, Reebok, which, Reebok actually used to be the official apparel company for the University of Arkansas way back when, and also the NFL for many years. But today, Reebok has officially announced and reported that longtime brand partner and legendary Hall of Famer Shaq has been named the president of Reebok Basketball. And also in conjunction with Shaq's appointment, the president of Reebok Basketball, and to further drive relevance and authenticity in this space, Reebok has also appointed longtime brand partner and basketball legend Allen Iverson as vice president of Reebok Basketball. So if you're talking about getting the brand going and trying to attract more people and doing with the basketball side of things, having Shaq and AI as your president and vice president, it seems like a pretty good idea, and I think will be a great benefit to them and their brand moving forward on the basketball side of things.
NFL is appealing a ruling denying a request that they had in the John Gruden lawsuit where they wanted the case moved into a closed-door arbitration. So that was denied, and now they're appealing that because they still would like for it to be closed-door arbitration. And it's been set for November 7th when they're going to hear the appeal to see if they will move forward with this.
So Wink Martindale has decided to put together a comparison to Josh Allen because he's a huge fan of Josh Allen, and his athleticism is impeccable. But what he liked to compare him to is by morphing him into a few different players, or at least a few different athletes, where he says he has Dan Marino's arm, Derrick Henry's legs, and Steph Curry's mindset in the way that he thinks he can shoot from anywhere on the court. So that is high praise. Josh Allen's a great athlete, but when you're throwing those guys into the mix, it still adds another thing to it. But hey, everyone's got their opinion. But man, Steph Curry's mindset, okay. I like the aggressiveness, but hey, Wink, which is an awesome name, by the way. A lot of people are probably going to have a lot of disagreements with you on that.
Denise Richards is catching some backlash from a comment that she made on OnlyFans, where she teased the fact of doing a collab with her daughter, Sammy. She says, should my mini-me and me at Sammy Sheen do another collab? So they've already collabed on something. So she teased the fact that they could be doing another. Denise Richards is 52, Sammy is 19. And some of the comments that came in on this is blank and weird beyond words, and one of the sickest blanks I've seen on this app. What does she even mean? Another says, mini-me has undertones that I can't support in this context. Do better, Denise. There's another. I can't really come up with anything better to say than this is so gross and inappropriate. And then one comment said, Charlie Sheen, sane parent.
That one might be the most damning one of them all right there at the very end. So we know that the Powerball was a huge deal over the past, well, it always is, but especially when it gets to that high amount. And it looked as though a player from California was the winner of the $1.73 billion jackpot. Now, this is where the conspiracies start coming in because, listen, it's random, right? You never know who's going to win it, right? Well, if you take in consideration the top 5 biggest Powerball winnings, biggest earnings, whatever you want to say, the biggest ones, the top 5, all of them have come into the state of California. You've had the $2.04 billion one in California, $1.73 billion California, $1.5 billion, $1.08, all in California. And if you want to put it together and look at the numbers, Californians spent a total of $8.8 billion on the lottery. It's the 3rd highest total in the country. And about 8% of the total, $108 billion spent on lotteries worldwide. So if we can assume that those numbers are roughly proportional for just the Powerball, the odds of someone from California winning all 4 of the largest jackpots in the history would be about 0.0004% or 1 in 25,000. So maybe a conspiracy, maybe it's just a coincidence, but looking at the odds, which is what you do when it comes to Powerball, it is interesting that all of them have come from California.
Madonna met Al Pacino sometime in the late 70s, and she was just a young kid at the time. And so there's a biography coming out about Madonna called A Rebel Life. And something that came out in this biography was that on the ride home after they dropped off Madonna, Al Pacino talking to a friend, he says, that friend of your daughter's stuck her tongue in my ear when they were driving home. Said she leaned over and stuck her tongue in my ear. And they said earlier in the evening out to dinner that Madonna actually was calling attention to her mouth where she was chewing gum slowly in front of Al Pacino. Now, they did go on to work on Dick Tracy in 1990. And at the time, Madonna called Al Pacino a gross pig.
Yeah, I forgot that they played in that movie together. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. But yeah, it's quite the story, but also not surprising, especially dealing with those people. Well, appreciate everybody listening in to Out of Bounds today. For Joe Franklin, I'm John Nabors. Same sports show, same sports channel. Tomorrow afternoon, you better stay tuned, though, folks, because we got Drive Time Sports coming up next.